Welcome to the stage where hearts unfold in the morning glow, stories untold. Let's play with words, a masterpiece of art where dialogues bloom, igniting in every heart. Let's tap into the ocean of thoughts where waves of healing gently sold. Let's paint with words, a masterpiece of art where dialogues bloom, igniting every heart. Let's dive into the ocean of thoughts where waves of healing gently sought. Together we'll mend, stitch by stitch in the morning glow. Let's make the switch. A symphony of voices, harmonizing the air, echoing truth, banishing despair. Let's sow seeds of unity, watch them grow in this garden of hope under the morning glow. Let's bridge the gaps, erase the line in the tapestry of hearts that love shine. With every word, a step we take towards a brighter dawn for all our sake. Welcome to the morning glow, where dreams take flight in this realm of possibilities. Let's unite, together we stand, hand in hand, healing the nation across the land. Let's dive into the ocean of thoughts where waves of healing gently sought. Together we'll mend, stitch by stitch in the morning glow. Let's make the switch. Let's dive into the ocean of thoughts where waves of healing gently sought. Together we'll mend, stitch by stitch in the morning glow. Let's make the switch. Let's symphony of voices, harmonizing the air, echoing true.
Where are we? There we go. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. My name is Raheem Osme out of Atlanta, Georgia, but I got my sister and my brother from another mother, but we got the same father. Ladies, always first, Dr. V. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing elephant elated and happy porcupine, all that good stuff. I can't get it right because I'm not a Southern girl, so I didn't grow up saying all that
It's
good
one of
stuff. But I'll say good morning. It's a wonderful Tuesday already.
Absolutely, and always good to have you with us. It's always good. I look forward to having you with us. And so we're gonna go into this day. It's a how you say this is a joyful day. That's a beautiful day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and hold it and be glad in it and be glad in it. Badger, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Another beautiful day we get to share and continue practicing being one with Yahweh.
There you go. Good deal. Good deal.
Yahweh.
Huh?
I was just saying, Yahweh, Yahweh.
There you go. There you go. Now, Dr. V, I'm gonna start this conversation this morning off with you.
Oh.
And I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this question, and just be totally honest with you. Is it easier or more difficult to trust or distrust somebody?
Well, I'll give you two parts. I used to trust people, because I thought that's what was the right thing to do. Because we're all human, and I grew up trusting people. It was just the right thing, easier just to trust. Then I learned that you don't trust people, because if they know you trust them, then that would be easy for them to say, oh, they trust me. So, then they can have, since they know you trust them, then of course I learned. Like I said, we learn, people will learn, that's easy. Trust me, come with me, follow me, go with me. And then you can be lured. That's a temptation to be lured, or a trap to be lured into some dangerous situations, or, life and death threatening situations that could harm you, or, change your life forever. So, yes, we have to learn. We can't trust everyone. And then they even have a strange thing with children. They say stranger
Mm-hmm.
danger,
Mm-hmm.
or you lure children, hey, help me look for my puppy, or help, you want some candy, And we, as children, we trust. It's just natural. Respect your elders, things we learn as a child to trust people, trust your babysitter, trust, your parents' friends, just we're taught to
Mm-hmm.
trust. And so it can ultimately not be wise decision on a young person's part.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow.
Especially in today, we're taught, you don't even want to leave your children
Mm-hmm.
anywhere at this point in
Mm-hmm.
day and age,
Exactly.
even with family.
Yeah.
So yeah, we grow up having to learn you can't
Mm-hmm.
trust
Wow.
people. So no, we learn no. And that's what we have to learn discerning. Who can you
Mm-hmm.
trust?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a balancing act. We have to start, and that's when we learn to have boundaries. We have to learn even coworkers who at work. Who can
Yeah.
you trust?
Yeah. Wow. And see that's and,
It's
and, and and that's really a sad reality, but we're gonna talk about that a little bit as well. But right now, let me go to Badger. Badger, and good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good
Again.
morning.
Okay. Badger, is it easier, is it harder to trust or to distrust someone?
Well, I'll answer it in a general manner,
Hmm.
and then I'll answer it from a personal, if that's cool with you.
Go ahead.
All right. In general, based on just looking from the outside in, um, I can understand why folks don't trust folks to a degree.
Hmm.
You know, most kids are lied to about Santa, Easter Bunny, certain other things, and just when they come to find out, it's well, just pay attention to the lesson, not the fact that I lied to you for the first up to 10
Hmm.
tell them what they deal with at school by teachers and whoever else. So it's kind of a societal norm to raise your kids up lying to them.
Mm. Wow.
I mean, just this is when that's called an outsider looking in, you know,
Hmm.
looking from the outside. So, but personally, me and my wife had a long talk, and we're very straight up and honest with our kids.
Hmm.
We work very hard to be age appropriate as possible. We explain the story of Santa. We explain about Christ and God and all that stuff.
Hmm.
They ask all kinds of way out there questions, and it's like, all right, let's look it up. Let's figure it out. I don't know this. Like being honest and going, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and but it's interesting to me, especially when you bring up this topic, because I also had to learn the difference between when you're doing things on purpose and when you're informing someone based on the knowledge that you currently have.
Hmm.
And to me, what makes a big difference and thing, especially when you're communicating something that is based on the knowledge you currently have, is also making sure it's spoken that, hey, if you find anything wrong with this information, let's talk about
Hmm.
it, because there are people that work very hard to not ever be known as a liar.
Yeah.
You might miseducate or misinform based on information that they're given or that they've looked up. But they're also one of the first ones who are willing to go, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Let's
Hmm.
figure out how to, what it
Fix
really
this.
is.
Yeah. Let's fix
So,
this. Yeah.
and I've talked about a thing called ABA therapy.
Hmm.
Before. And anyone that don't know, it's applied behavioral. Uh, I think it's application. analysis. Um, but essentially, it's predominantly used for autistic people,
Mm-hmm.
where they sit there and they tell you all of these social rules to go by, how you're supposed to do this and how you're supposed to do that. So a lot of the basic, this is how you socialize and communicate with people. You're not supposed to lie. You're supposed to, not fib, not do this, not do that. And once we get done with all of that, then, we start socializing more. And it's like, does nobody else ever have to take those classes?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. Good deal. Let me keep this thing going. Badger, I want to go to let me go to Captain Leonard. Captain Leonard, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Leonard, is it more difficult? Which one is more difficult? And we look at this thing holistically, but which one is more difficult, to trust or to distrust somebody? Which is easier?
Usually, I would say it's based on the person
Yes.
because you brought that with you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's usually with you all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a personal distinction that you use.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the type of person that don't trust nobody, guess what? You're not gonna trust nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So it may be easier for you not to trust people because you're so distrustful. You have to, I think, specifically set out a goal and an objective to be trusting.
Mm-hmm.
You should have parameters around it. How many times do you know, especially young people, swear, "Oh, this my friend, this my friend." Now both of y'all down there at the jail telling on one another. We
Yeah.
used to have,
Yeah.
we used to have to tell one of our family members, "Everybody you meet ain't your friend."
Exactly.
I don't care where he would move or whatever. Guess what? He seemed to always attract the folks drinking and hanging out
Mm-hmm.
because he was very friendly now.
Yeah.
And people that love drinking and hanging out don't mind being with you.
Mm-hmm.
But them not your friends, them your drinking buddies.
You're the life of the party.
You know, some of us got friends, they can't come to our house.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
You got friends that you don't bring around your family sometimes. I remember back in the day.
Uh-oh.
I'm just saying, this is what it was, and you knew how to deal with things appropriately, like trust.
Mm-hmm.
Is it appropriate to trust that person? If you know your friends are criminals,
Come on.
do you trust them?
Mm-hmm.
I used to always say I didn't like shooting. I did everything, but I didn't care for shooting dice as much
Mm-hmm.
because tempers flare quickly shooting dice.
Oh,
And
yeah.
friends get shot shooting dice.
Yep. Yep.
Why I didn't shoot dice? Because if everybody around you always got a gun, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get shot.
Yeah. Somebody gonna pull it.
Somebody going to get shot sooner or later. So,
Wow.
Trust is that thing that you trust or distrust, I believe, is the baggage that you bring with you back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I trust you to do what any human being would do. How's that?
Exactly. That's good. That's good. Let's keep this thing going. I want to get everybody's take on this, man, because we're gonna go a little deeper into this thing, man. But let me go to Tucson. Tucson, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing okay.
Okay,
How
okay.
you doing?
Man, I'm high and a happy elephant elated and porcupine proud to be here this morning. Yes, I is. Yes, I is. And yes, I is. Boy, that's a good one. But I'm gonna ask you the question, Tucson. Is it easy? Which is easier for most people, to trust or to distrust somebody?
Trust is for God.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is suspect.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for real. Unfortunately, I'm one of them people that Lila talk about. I don't trust nobody.
Mm.
And I don't put nothing past anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, sure don't. I start with distrusting you.
Hey, Tucson, I think we have a bad connection with your line. Hang up a call right back in. I think we have a bad connection. It's popcornish.
That's my. I wanted to. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's much better. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know my Cash App?
Yeah, I do. $sign
Okay,
DKM.
so send me a
$sign DKM radio.
Okay, that ain't gonna get me no earpiece. Let's see that one time out. See, that was just one perfect example. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You complain about me earpiece, but you won't help me get one.
I got one. I'm gonna send to you.
Okay, I'm gonna be waiting in a minute.
I'm serious.
I'll be waiting.
We'll talk after the broadcast. I got one. I'm gonna send to you.
I believe you.
Okay.
I spent hundreds of dollars for the one I got. It's still away. Maybe I need to charge that joker up.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm having a conversation that has nothing to do with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And you joining me
Ain't that
on
something?
your show.
We both crazy. But is it easier to trust
Can't trust
or to not
nobody.
trust? There you go. There you go. Which one is easier, Toussaint? Because you say you don't trust
It's
nobody.
easy
So
to
is that
distrust.
easier?
It's easy to distrust. It's easy to distrust. Let me tell you why I say that. We start off like that. I think babies try to figure out whether they can trust their parents all through their life,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
We put each other to the test.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it goes to not only test, but tempt each other. Little devils.
Mm-hmm.
Why did baby cry? You can't trust that. You can't trust that little joker.
Mm-hmm.
He don't even know what he crying for. Nothing.
Mm.
Till you put that bottle in his mouth and you find out he don't even want the bottle.
Wow.
I'll be doggone.
It's something going on the
So
other end.
easy.
It's something going on to start on the other end. It's not the upper end, it's the lower end. Something going on. They need to
You
change
missed it. You missed it. You got a nose for things, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna throw something out there. Here's a left hook right here. All you got to do is have a papa day, pappy. What you call it? What you is?
Peepaw.
Peepaw.
Yeah.
Peepaw.
Mm-hmm.
Changing them diapers.
Mm.
Hey,
Mm.
but
Mm.
I think that's just me, Raheem. It's easy, very easy to distrust.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Matter of fact, I don't understand why would anybody trust our government.
Mm. Okay, we're taking a turn. Hold on. Stay right there. Stay.
No,
Let me say this.
No turn.
Watch
How
this.
you feel now?
Watch this. Good deal. Good deal.
Say it, Raheem.
Good deal.
I know it.
Let me go to let me go. I'm trying to go everybody in the order in which they came in. Annie from Mississippi. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, great morning, God morning to everybody.
And is it easier? Which one is easier, to trust or to distrust somebody? Which one is easier?
Trust is earned, Raheem.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't just say I trust you and I just met you,
Mm-hmm.
or I know you by via telephone. I don't really know you. I just know you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Trust is something that we can't give people. It has to be earned. And in this world that we're in right now, it's easier to distrust. It's so much easier. When I meet a person, automatically it's going to be distrust there until they show me otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
If you show me that I can trust you, like I say, I can trust you. Trust is earned. But I don't just meet a person and automatically trust them when I don't even know them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have to distrust you until you show me differently.
So does
You
that
can't
mean?
meet somebody in the street and say, "Oh, I met Sarah and I trust Sarah." I don't know Sarah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So are we walking around to a certain degree? Are we walking around with our guards up everywhere we go? And everybody
Yes, we are, because we have to. It's life. It's like we're protecting ourselves. It's just who we are. We can't just trust people. And with the world the way it is right now, distrust is our first nature.
Mm-hmm.
We have to distrust people. When you see all the things going on in this country, in this world, in our cities, we automatically distrust. When I go into an elevator and somebody's in there with me, I'm holding my purse. I'm clutching my purse.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to the grocery store, I'm looking behind me. That's distrust. That's because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Crime rate is up so high. You don't know who you can trust.
Yeah.
So I'm distrusting everybody. When I give my credit card to somebody at McDonald's, I don't want you to scan my number. So I'm looking all in the window. That's distrust. And I'm basing that upon what I've seen in the news, how people will take a picture of your car. That's distrust.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just trust people right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Distrust first. Show me I can trust you, and then I'll trust you.
So you going to McDonald's and you stick your head in the people wonder trying to see what they're doing with your card.
I am. I'm watching you, and you put my card down, and you taking your time to get my food. Look, give me my card back first.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want you to scan anything.
Mm-hmm.
Scan my numbers, and then I'm wondering where this charge comes from.
Yeah.
So give me my card back first, and then give me the food.
Exactly. Good deal. Good deal. Toya with a T. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good to have you with us. This has been a minute.
Yes, it has. I had to take a break.
Well, I had to dock your pay, but we're gonna start your pay back up today. But we had to, when you didn't show up, we dock your pay now. We dock it.
It's all good. It's all good. I applied for unemployment anyway because I knew he was gonna dock my pay.
Good deal. Good deal. Good. Toya, what do you say to this, Toya? Is it easier? Which one is easier, to trust somebody or to distrust someone? What is easier?
I mean, whichever one you choose is easier. But for me, I trust you until you show me that I can't trust you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my thing is this. I don't sugarcoat nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Period. If I don't trust you, I'm not gonna be around you. So I'm gonna give you. It's what we call the benefit of the doubt. I'm not just gonna assume you tell a story. Now it depends on what it is. Do I trust you with my life? Do I trust you with my car? Do I trust you with my bank account? Again, if you deal with me, I'll give you my card and tell you to go to the store. Let something come up missing.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you're gonna look at me differently. You're gonna be looking at me talking, I never thought you would do that. Yeah, I didn't think you would do it either.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, what you said?
It's a two-way street. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a two-way street. And when it comes to distrust, to me, I feel like that's too much energy. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? It is what it is, and a person are who they are. And I don't think it's fair to walk around not trusting someone and they haven't done anything. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Even with the last example, is you know that people scam you, but we use our card every day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's trust. When we give that card number out to somebody or somewhere, or we use it, it's trust every day. And depending on what it is, it can be, rectified even if something happens. You know what I'm saying? When I get in my car and drive, do I trust the fact that I'm not going to get into an accident? Yes. I'm not going to drive around thinking that I'm going to get into an accident. We buy insurance for trusting the fact that we are going to navigate our way safely. And it isn't until the accident happened that now, oh Lord, when it's raining, I don't trust Georgia in the rain. Oh Lord, you understand what I'm saying? So for me, I feel like it's easier to be trusting because I feel like that's what's owed to a person. And as we begin to build a relationship, right? Because this is the deal, right? And I'm going to use this example. You can be talking about you Christian all you want to, acting like you Christian, acting like you this, acting like you love the Lord, this, that, and the third. And now, okay, I trust you just like I trust anybody else. I ain't going to trust somebody who I know is a drug addict. But because you are in this specific position, I trust you. But it isn't until I give you my money and you rip me off that I say, okay, I can't deal with you no more. And I'm going to cut you off. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you got to pick and choose. Who is it that we're talking about that we trust in? Because at the end of the day, Lucifer was God's right-hand man. He couldn't be trusted. Adam and Eve was in the garden. Couldn't be trusted. Cain and Abel couldn't be trusted. There's a ton of stories in the Bible where humans could not be trusted. But it wasn't until the point that they proved on their behalf that you couldn't do it. So nah, I don't walk around with that energy of not trusting people because I feel like that'll have me stressed out. I'd rather give you the benefit of the doubt. Let me see what
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna do and cut you off clean slate. I got a mean cutoff game. Snip, snip.
Did Samson trust Delilah?
Well, of course he did, but even with that, I believe Delilah nagged that man so much. It wasn't even about trust. It was just to get her to shut up and leave him alone. Please go away. Leave me alone. He already knew that he couldn't trust her. God already told him, don't trust nobody. Don't you tell nobody about your hair on your head now. He already told him. But going back to the garden, there's a specific weakness that I feel men have for a woman that, depending on what is put in front of them, it's gonna go past. You know what I'm saying? They very knowing, they're very being, just that little weakness that they got from the garden. It is supersede they common sense, and vice versa. Even with women, that's just not a man thing. It's the same thing with women. You know, he don't come home until 3 o'clock in the morning, but you still keep paying, you still keep working, you still keep letting them sit on the couch, and you'll know with your common sense, with everything that you've learned and seen, you will know it ain't right. But that weakness will kick in, and then you'll find out until you decide to cut that person off. You knew they couldn't be trusted from some of the things they did, but you still stay there and you still make moves like you trust them. You still give them the card. You still, you know what I'm saying? Still sleep with them. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that they may be out there doing with something else. You know what I'm saying? And it isn't until it smack you in your face or when the pain get great enough that you're gonna make a change. Trust yourself.
Exactly. Cassandra Alexander Green. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, which is easier, to trust or to distrust someone? Which is easier for most people?
For most people,
Yes.
it's trust. For most people. For me personally, trust. Because, like Toya said, it takes too much energy to walk around distrusting people. Man, that's a miserable thing. I've been there before.
Now, Cassandra, let me ask you this:
become guarded sometimes when things have happened to you.
Do you allow yourself, if you walk around and you try? And I love what y'all are saying. I love where y'all coming from, both you and Toya with a T with this. But let me ask you this question: what do you say to the people that would say to you or Toya that if you walk around trusting everybody, you're leaving yourself vulnerable?
Well, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. There's nothing dirty about that word. All of us are vulnerable sometimes. And I just choose not to spend my life, distrusting people. It's crazy. I mean, the type of interactions that we have to have with people on a daily basis, like the example was giving your credit card to buy groceries at the store, at the drive-through, at the doctor's office. I mean, do you know what energy it takes to just be walking around not trusting people? It's too much. And it's just me. If you burn me, then I learn the lesson. Then I know now. I know better. And sometimes it may hurt, but just because of who I am, I don't want to waste that energy because that's negative energy. So when you distrust anything, disloyal, whatever, it's a negative. Disapprove. So you understand what I'm saying? So it's just easier for me.
So basically, what I'm hearing you say, in a somewhat, I hope I'm getting this right. You're not going to let that person, because of the fact that they may not be trustworthy, you're not going to allow them to change who you are.
That's exactly what I'm saying. And listen, we're talking using wisdom. Toya said it again. When if I know somebody is a drug addict, I'm not going to give them my card to do nothing. If I know the person has a proven record of being untrustworthy, of course I'm not. That's just wisdom. But to just walk around, oh my God, did that cashier just put my card on the counter, or anything? I can't. It's just too much energy. But let me say this. Let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
This may sound crazy to some people, but a couple of days ago, I was in my spirit, because I don't be walking about anything. It was like, you need to start carrying your gun.
Mm-hmm.
So something is happening, because I feel a shift in the spirit. Something is happening.
Yeah.
So my little gun, Susie, is right inside my purse.
Her name Susie.
So I don't know
Susie
what
Q.
that's about. I ain't asked no questions. I heard it loud enough. I know the voice of God. I pulled my gun out of and put it right in my purse.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. So Cassandra got that heat. Cassandra got that heat. Dr. J, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
What's happening, my brother? Good morning, everybody.
Hey, doing good, doing good. What is it? What your take on this situation, man? What is easier, to trust or to distrust someone?
I'm like the last two people. It
Mhm.
takes too much energy to walk around with distrust. I give you, and like they say, using wisdom. Trust is earned, but I got to give you something to work with.
Mm-hmm.
I give you something to work with to prove yourself. Um, it takes a lot, especially when you have to minister, counsel, or whatever with people. They know if you don't trust them, so then you don't become effective, because you want them to be vulnerable, but you guard it,
Mm-hmm.
and I've missed so many opportunities to have good people around me. I've seen it happen, rather, because people distrust. They
Mm-hmm.
like they say, it's just, to me, it's a choice. But I rather trust than distrust. I'm not going to give anything or anybody lanyap in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so trust is earned. I got to give you something to work with, though, and if you can't manage what I give you, then I start. And I don't completely cut you off, but depending on what happens, but I
Mm-hmm.
will continue to work with trust in a person until I see it's not possible. And then I can easily move forward from that, but I'll trust before I distrust. That's
Okay.
comfortable for me.
I'm gonna ask the same question. Do you think there's a possibility? Do you think there's a possibility that you're leaving yourself vulnerable if you're so trustworthy? I mean, giving so much trust.
That's exactly what it is. But here's what I found. I've been more prosperous. And when I say prosperous, I'm not even talking about financially. I've been more prosperous being vulnerable than I have being guarded.
Mm-hmm.
See, when you talk about trust and distrusting, when you become a person that distrusts, we may not want to admit it, but we distrust our children, we just distrust our mates. We watch everybody because it becomes a learned behavior. And so I was one who was very guarded because I'm a loner. So I had to learn to trust people, and that took becoming vulnerable, something I was not, and learning to be comfortable with is being vulnerable. Because again, being vulnerable means I have to put myself in a position to be hurt as if I have never been hurt before. So I have to put myself in a position with you,
Yes.
knowing that Dr. Val has hurt me before.
Mm-hmm.
And so it for me, it locks me down.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been more profitable being vulnerable than I have being guarded.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Asking the question this morning: what is more difficult? Is it more difficult to trust or to distrust someone? What is easier? What is easier for you to do? To trust them or to automatically distrust them and allow them, like it was been said here before, they have to earn the trust. The trust has to be earned. Or do you freely give it? Dr. Cook, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Well, good morning.
Good morning,
How's
young lady.
everyone?
Hey, you doing good, doing good. Let me ask you a question. Which one is from where you from your life of living, from your experiences in life? What is it? What is it? Is it easier to trust or to distrust someone? Which one is it?
Well, I will tell you this, Brother Raheem. As a child, and most children, we trust everybody until you get hurt and you wonder what is going on. But as an adult, I still trusted everyone until I got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And that led to a lot of issues with trust. And so now, trust is earned. I allow myself to trust certain people because I often ask myself, what is it that they have to gain from me? And I don't consider it a test. I trust people until I can't trust them.
Mm-hmm.
People will show you who they are. They really will.
Yeah.
So if they do anything to try to gain anything from you, you still trust them with certain things, but not with all things.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I trust some people, and trust again is an earned item. And you don't just I don't put myself out there completely for people to hurt me, but I just see how far people will go with that particular trust. You know, that's how I place myself because I've been hurt quite a bit, but I was able to bounce back. And so that's when you learn who you can personally trust and those that you don't need to deal with anymore. But I don't allow that to consume me, if you know what I'm saying. But you just continue to learn people. And as a child, I was learning people until I knew that I didn't need to be around that person. And as an adult, I'm a lot wiser, and I just choose people because you can tell by certain spirits who is there, who's for you, and who's not for you. So that's something that I can somewhat tell until it actually happens. That person tried to burn you or try to get something from you, and you continue to talk to people. You can tell who you can and cannot trust because people will say something to you or do something or try to do something to you, and you'll be able to see that.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. But
I don't have a problem.
hey, Dr. Cook, do people
until I
always
can't.
pay attention though? Does people always pay attention? Because like Maya Angelou
When you
says,
say people,
yeah, do people, because Maya Angelou said when somebody show you who they are, believe it. But do we always believe it?
oh yes, indeed. When I see it, yes, I do. But I can't say about other people. But
Yeah.
for myself, I can say yes, and I try to stay as far away from that person as I possibly can.
Okay. Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Badger, talk to me, brother.
know, what I was speaking on earlier, like about the ABA therapy stuff.
Badger,
It,
let-
it,
is this along the lines of trust?
yes,
Mm-hmm.
because it taught me that humans are humans.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone is taught the same things. Not everyone has the same morals. Will judge others based on titles,
Mm-hmm.
and so on and so on. So when it comes to trust and distrust, I just expect people to be humans.
Mm-hmm.
Who they are will eventually show themselves.
Mm-hmm. Is it
So
how difficult is it to cut them off once you find out that you really can't trust them? How difficult is it to cut them off, or is it based on who it is?
I mean, for me, if you're a lot of times, if you ain't willing to grow and get better, I just say have a blessed day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't see a reason to have animosity
Mm-hmm.
because humans are humans. There are those that will do their best to grow and better themselves, and then there are humans that like being what they are at the current moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's I always found it funny how things can be so different when you look at things psychologically. Because when
Mm-hmm.
you get into trusting and not trusting, you got trauma involved, you've got uh lived experience involved, you've got so much as an individual going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes the worst person can have a message for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. That's
So it for me, practicing walking in faith and knowing that the glory of God's going to shine them at through any of the situations that I'm gifted is kind of where I stand when it comes to lies and truths.
mm-hmm.
Because society has shown me that selfishness runs rampant,
Mm-hmm.
and through selfishness, a person will do anything.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's true. That's true. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. We're talking about what is easier. Is it easier to trust or to distrust somebody? What is easier? Does trust have to be earned? Or is it something, like I said earlier, like has been said on here earlier as well, is it something that's freely given? What do you think about that? Toya, what did he talk to me, sis?
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Same. We talking about trust. Is trust? Is it easier to trust or distrust? Does it, like you said? Well, like it's been said, does it have to be earned, or is it freely given? And where lies the difficulty, even in that? Talk to me.
Well, in anything you do, it's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's use this example. Let's say you're a manager of a restaurant
Mm-hmm.
and you know that the people in there um have the tendency to take stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's already been reported to you. So when you get there, you can walk in there with a predisposition if you want to, that you can't trust any of them. That's not
Mm-hmm.
fair. Because just because somebody else said it don't mean that's the case. That's exactly what they do to black people. We can't be trusted. We all steal. We all this. We all that. So now here when you come, you crossing the other side of the street. Ain't nobody even thinking about you.
Mm-hmm.
You clutching your purse. Ain't nobody even thinking about you. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? So I think it's fair to come with a predisposition of thinking that you can't trust somebody regardless of the circumstance. Now, when you know who somebody is, you know they can't be trusted. But does that necessarily mean that you can't be around them? No, because even as a manager, even if I know that y'all can't be trusted, by law, there are still steps that I got to take to even get rid of you. Because even if I don't trust you, until you actually commit a crime for me to get rid of you, I can't. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? So it's like at the end of the day, when you know who you're dealing with and what you're dealing with, you know who and how you can trust them. But let's talk about the spirit of discernment, right? Because the most important thing is that we're not supposed to be trusting people, we're supposed to be trusting God.
Come on.
And when we trust Him, then He is going to allow us to be able to discern some certain things. But the reason why He may allow you to go through things, because that person who can't be trusted could have just been praying to Him and He's still trying to get a point to that person. He's trying to let that person know that you can be made fresh and new, regardless of your past. We know that you couldn't be trusted then, but I'm going to send somebody along your way that's going to give you the benefit of the doubt, and you'll never know how that's going to pull the veil off of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you trusting in God, trust and believe, He gonna give you the drop on whatever it is. You trusting in God, when somebody come that way, trust me, God and already talked in their ear, and they can screw you if they want to. God gotta pay you back, and God gonna handle that person,
Yeah.
even if you the one that He sent to handle them. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't fair because I was touched at 9. Now all of a sudden I don't trust no men.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do that. I had to give people the benefit of the doubt. Now, was there a fear down on the inside? Oh, men couldn't be trusted. Men like touching little girls. Oh, men, they they're gonna cheat. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? Was that a thought in my head? Yes. But when it comes to me actually dealing with somebody, I can't charge you for somebody else's crime. Jesus already paid the price for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't. I got a conscious choice and decision. And nobody wants to be hurt, but I'm cool with it. I've taken a lot of hits on the chin. I fell and got a lot of scrapes and bruises. You
Mm-hmm.
think I thought I was gonna fall off the bike? No, I was doing a trick. I thought that I was gonna be able to make it, and I didn't. And even if I didn't make it the first time, I still gotta make a choice on if I'm gonna try that trick again, even if
Mm-hmm.
I failed the first time.
Yeah.
And for me, just because I fall the first time, don't mean I'm not gonna try it again. Like when I was riding around a couple of years ago on a scooter with my old behind, and I busted my knee open.
Yeah. Wow.
And then in about 2 weeks, I went back on it. My friend asked me, Toya, you not scared? Yeah, I'm scared, but I'm finna keep on going because whether I don't trust the bike, whether I don't trust myself, whether I don't trust the enemy or whatever it is, just because I've been hurt once don't mean I can't get up and keep on going. And just because my trust was broken don't mean that I'm going to charge that to the crime of the person who did it. I'm not going to walk around here trying to put up this,
Mm-hmm. Come on.
energy of
Mm-hmm.
feeling like I can't trust. Now, I'm in a mode right now where I'm not dating because even if people not trustworthy, my goal now is to see if you trust God.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to trust me.
Mm-hmm.
If you trust him and you don't flip on him, then I'm going to feel a whole lot safer with you not flipping on me. So sometimes we put our energy in the wrong direction because you're talking about trusting to do what with your life? Trusting to do what with your, I can always get my money back. I can always get a new house and a new car. But when it comes to sleeping with people, you will never be able to get that back. So I'm cool with being hurt, but I'm not going to walk around putting my hurt bleeding on everybody else because the last person hurt me. That's not fair.
Exactly. Cassandra, talk to me.
Yeah, I agree with Toya once again. We have to discernment. That's why discernment is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Because what we may see in the natural may not be what's happening in the spirit realm. So I prefer to use the spirit realm to make choices. Now, when I make my own choice, then I get what I get. But when I follow the discernment, the Spirit of God showing me right, wrong, whatever the case may be, then if something happens, that means that God wanted me to learn something from it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not every time that you use discernment things come out right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I mean, if we would be honest, it's not.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's a learning curve that God wants you to get. So, I refuse to just walk around not trusting people. I just can't. I ask God to show me right, wrong, good, bad, indifferent. I ask God to show me. And if I follow his lead, if something goes awry, it's on me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. Leonard, what do you say to that, man? How do you feel about this whole trust thing?
I believe I'm more on the line of Tucson about trust, especially when it comes, you trust God. People are imperfect. People make mistakes. It's hilarious to me when I hear someone, they're telling a story and they go, "I'm not perfect." Man, I'm so sick of hearing that. I know you're not perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. Why would you think I would assume you was
Wow.
perfect? So a lot of things that we have to work on, man. That's my main thing with Toya. I love Toya so
Mm-hmm.
much. It's for her resilience. And she's able to communicate it. Her and Miss Cassandra has turned their lives into something so positive that nothing can deter them down. There's no need for them to trust other people because they are fortified. They trust God for their comings and goings. So when we're talking about trust, what do you mean? Now, some of y'all just go.
Mm.
Y'all got to go fix that. Y'all need to put some rules on the refrigerator, put them on a little card, keep them in your pocket or whatever. I will not. I will
Mhm.
not. Sisters, make that little card up just in case you forget.
Mm.
Because y'all the main ones that'll sit there and say, against my better judgment, or, I probably shouldn't have. Then why did you?
Mhm.
You have to learn how to obey what's trying to save you. That little voice you hear in your head, no, I shouldn't go home with him. Don't go.
Mhm.
Or I shouldn't do this, or I should listen to that in your spirit that tells you not to come and not to go. You don't have to worry about trust God about the situation. When you
Mhm.
ask God about the situation first, that answer gonna be a whole lot different in how you deal with what you do next. The problem with most people is they ignore all the things trying to get them to choose or to protect themselves, and then choose the worser of the two.
Mhm.
Anybody that comes to you talking about they didn't, because there's a certain I don't know. I don't know. That's a little different, not knowing. But if you're trusting, do you have enough information? Do you know
Mhm.
the person well enough? What are you trusting them with? You walk up to some guy, hold my wallet while I go into the store. What sense
Mm.
does that make?
Mm. So, Leonard, what do you say to the people? 'Cause I asked the other side of the thing about the giving the trust, are vulnerable and different things of that nature. Do you think that if you do not trust, automatically just do not trust people? Do you think that you're living a very guarded life, and is that a good or bad thing?
Well, not really. I would say God is the underwriter of my trust.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a lot of people, say certain things like when I was in corporate. I don't want to do this because I don't want to break it. I don't want to do this. You may not trust yourself, but trust me, if you break it, I can fix it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I trust. Whatever you break, Raheem, God can fix.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't worry as much about that trust issue. There are too many people that live according to trusting other people as opposed to God.
Mm-hmm.
And so you that's something you have to unlearn if you wasn't taught it properly. But
Leonard,
ever since I can remember my mother's voice,
hey, Leonard, can you trust the God that's in that other person as well?
no, don't go that route.
No.
Why? Why would you further complicate your situation or put somebody else in between you and the truth of the matter? You go straight to God. That's why Jesus come, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So you,
Wow.
as a Christian, you should never get that wrong.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Never get that wrong. That's
And
the whole purpose of Jesus. Now, you calling yourself a Christian, you need to know why you're calling yourself a Christian.
okay, good deal. Let me do this before we go further, and we're gonna stay. I'm not gonna change the topic at all. We're gonna stay here for a minute, but I want to say, consider a moment of silence, if you will. I think we lost Roberta Flack yesterday. I think we lost Roberta Flack, and so, man, she had some great music, man. They say great person. I never met her, but they say great person, and so, my heart goes out. Our heart goes out to her family and loved ones. So, yeah, I just wanted to take an opportunity and do that as well. Dr. J, what do you say to this, man? To walk around, to give trust, to freely give trust, people will say that you're vulnerable, but to not give trust, people will say that you're guarded. Where's the middle ground?
From my point, having God residing on the inside me gives me the edge over
Mm-hmm.
things. right? It don't mean it's going to always work out. You know, they used to teach us the drill. You stand up, you pump your legs, you hit the ground on your stomach, you jump back up as fast as you can. You do that a couple of times, and we thought that was teaching us to fall, but it was teaching us how to get up from a fall. What I learned in this walk for myself, if you're going to trust God, if I say I'm going to trust the God in you, then I'm going to trust the God in you. I
Should
have
we?
to first know,
Should
I
we?
do. I
Okay.
do. Now, if I don't see the God in you, then I just ain't gonna go that route. But and I think sometimes, do we really know that He resides on the inside of us?
Mm-hmm.
And this what I've been thinking the whole time I'm listening, and I want to be careful when I say this. You know, I say this as a joke, but if you think about it, it says a lot. So I steal paper clips.
Mm-hmm.
So now you could let me in your house, Raheem, and you could leave your money out, your rings, watches, all that. They ain't gonna bother me. But if I see a paper clip, I'm sitting there trembling and
Mm-hmm.
shaking.
Mm-hmm.
Because the rings, the watches, and all that, it don't tempt me. What tempts me is that paper clip,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I take the paper clip and put it in my pocket, but then I don't trust you.
Mm-hmm.
We all got something going on.
Mm-hmm.
And how do I expect you to trust me if I'm not willing to trust you? Just I think some people, and like I say, thank God everything is based on an individual basis.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that you cannot be effective, totally effective in this world doing anything distrusting people. You just can't make that. I can't make that a way of life. You know, I will not make that a way of life.
Mm-hmm.
I trust people, you know, and the young lady
Mm-hmm.
said it earlier. There's what you call recompense. You steal from me, that's fine. You don't have to pay me back. I don't want you to pay me back. God is going to pay me back. And
Mm-hmm.
in the midst of God paying me back, He's gonna deal with you too. When
Mm-hmm.
and again, like you said, it's an individual thing. When you accept God as your Lord and Savior, you get security, you get all that. And you got to
Mm-hmm.
accept it for what it is. You don't get no pass on this one or pass on that one. And no, if I accepted him to protect me, he's my protector.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes him Lord over my life. He protects me from whatever comes on me, whether I'm sick, whether somebody takes something from me, you know, and it's like I say, if other people choose to do other, that's fine. You know, that's me, man. I
Mm-hmm.
choose to live a different lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Okay.
and it's only complicated sometimes. I used to not think the way I thought because I dealt with people or didn't deal with people, and that's called bondage.
Mm-hmm.
When I started dealing with people and interacting with people, man, and I started learning for myself, you know, I can't live on an island. I
Mm-hmm.
can't. I isolated myself for years, you know, and I got nothing out of it. But when I opened myself up, again, you ain't crazy. You don't even have to have God to discern. You ain't crazy. Like the woman of God said earlier. There was a time, man, I keep my pistol at home. Now, depending on where I go, I get in my car and start driving and turn around, go back home, get my pistol, and then go drive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely.
I believe God gonna protect me, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use discernment too and some wisdom. You
Exactly.
know? So I
Exactly.
mean, it's just an individual thing. I don't put a lot of thought in all that kind of stuff no more.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Dr. Val, what do you say to that? How do you feel about it? Do you trust, distrust?
Well, well, you know me. Anytime you bring a question, I go
Mm-hmm.
research because I do. And like I said, I have experience with military and with working, and they have protocol for those things. One was the term familiarity in the Bible. Familiarity breeds contempt. I don't know if you've heard that term before, but familiarity breeds contempt, and they even give the Bible passage to collaborate with that in Matthew 3, 13, 55 to 57, when Jesus performing all these miracles, they didn't trust Jesus. They didn't trust Jesus, the Father, the man of God. They said, isn't that the carpenter's son? Isn't that Mary's son? Ain't that his brothers? How can he be performing miracles? Didn't you have a conversation with Miss Elliott the other day? Who are you? Who are you? How could you get that interview? That's called familiarity breeds contempt. People know who you are. How dare you get a show like that? That's what it is. People know us, and how dare we? They don't trust you. They don't trust us because they know us from our whatever days. And I use the example when, when we raise our children, and then now they want to drive a car, and you look at, wait a minute, I knew you when you was a child, little in the kitchen, pots and pans doing this. Now you want to be behind a wheel? Wait a minute. And so situations that we just automatically get that, I can't trust this situation. That's familiarity breeds contempt. Oh, I remember you when you was in high school.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember when you were acting this way. Wait a minute. Now you got a job, you working at corporate, you doing it. Wait a minute. That's not us. And even when I was grown, and I went to go stay with my father. I went to visit, and my younger brother, 20 years younger than me, my parents were going my father and his wife were going out of town. I said, well, I'll watch him. I'll watch him. They said, no, we're going to let him go stay with somebody else for a week. They wouldn't even trust me to watch my brother. And I'm 20 years older than him.
Wow.
I was like, oh my God, because they're looking at how, and then even Jesus said, a man is not honored in their own home.
Exactly.
You're not honored. What does that mean? You're not trusted.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's from Jesus. Matthew 13, 55 to 50 says, he said, we're not honored. A prophet is not honored in his own household. That means not trusted.
Good deal. Good deal.
So no matter how much you try to earn it. And the other one is in the military, they have a policy called no fraternization. And in corporate, no fraternization. Certain levels cannot socialize with other levels. Management can't socialize. You can't, because it could cause disrupt with relationships and management. You can't learn. The hierarchy. They don't want you knowing what they know. You can't know what they know, and they don't want you to. They don't trust you knowing what. It's a mixture of knowledge and all that good stuff.
Good deal. Got to keep it moving. Exactly. Got to keep it moving.
Okay, I'm just sharing. That's trust. They put it in place.
Good deal. Got to keep it moving, Dr. Val. Got to keep it moving. Let me go to Rico. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Take the time, man. I'm just happy to see you up for day of life. I like that.
Hey, Rico, you sound robotic, brother. Something going on with your line? Do you need to hang up? Maybe call back in. I think we have a bad connection. Hang up and call right back in.
I heard that too. I don't know why it's doing that, but I'll call back in.
Yeah, hang up and call right back in, and then I'm gonna keep talking. Call right back in. I'm gonna keep talking till you call back. I might be able to think of one. I might think of one or two things to say about this, man. But I'm gonna give y'all an example. A young man. Well, I say young man, but he of a certain age. He had his grandson, and his grandson learned this little fall backwards trick. Well, you fall back, and the person have to catch you. And he said, "Granddaddy, you gonna catch me?" "Yeah." "You sure, Granddaddy?" "Yeah, I'm gonna catch you. Fall back." And the little boy stood up, and he fell back. Granddaddy caught him. Boom, stood him back up. Turned around. Little boy was happy. He was so happy. He was only about 6, 7, 8 years old. He was so happy. Granddaddy called him. And so a couple of days later, he wanted to do it again. "Granddaddy, you ready to play our game? You ready?" "Yeah, I'm ready." "You gonna catch me?" "Yeah, I'm gonna catch you." The boy turned around, crossed his arms, closed his eyes, fall backwards. Boom. Granddaddy catch him, standing back up. The boy turn around. He happier this time than he was the last time. Okay. A few days later, he come back over Granddaddy house again. Granddaddy, let's play our game. Okay. He turn around, cross his hands, close his eyes, and fall backwards. Boom! He hit the floor. He opened up his eyes and he look around. He's shocked. He's shocked. Granddaddy, you let me fall. Granddaddy said, no. I taught you. Trust is conditional. Trust is conditional. Never trust anybody, because based on the situation and circumstances that they're in at that particular moment, they may let you fall. Rico, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm right there.
Okay, we still got that sound, man. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna send you the link, brother. Can I send you the link?
I don't think the light is bright enough out here where I am. I got the link.
Okay.
So you sure it's not lying?
Yeah, because everybody else is sounding pretty good. Let me see. Let me go to Cassandra Alexander Green. Say something to me.
Hello. I hear Rico.
Oh, no.
Clear now.
No. It must be the line itself. I'm going to shut the line down and bring it back up. I think it's the line, because I heard the same thing with your line, Cassandra. While we're doing this, I'm gonna go to I'm gonna shut the line. Everybody, I'm gonna shut the line down. I'm gonna bring it back up. It might just automatically bring y'all.
Can't even trust the internet.
Can't trust it because it's sure acting up. But Leonard, what do you think about that particular? I'm gonna shut the phone line down and bring it back up. So, Leonard, what do you think about that particular lesson, man? Is there any value in it?
I think it depends. It really, when you say, is there any value in that lesson? That's just one.
Mm-hmm.
And one that is on the harsher side of things, because there's possible injury and hurt involved.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've never really too much care for that. It's a builder. It's a team builder in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, trust me, if you let me fall, it's gonna go above and beyond the lesson. I'm gonna hurt you, because that's what you deserve.
But see, this thing right here is and you got to understand who we're talking about. Is the granddaddy and his grandson, and he think that he's teaching his son a very valuable lesson.
There is one other participant in the conference. Please announce yourself.
Mufithula. He think that he's actually teaching his son a very valuable lesson, because the two times before he caught his grandson, but the third time he said, "Listen, don't trust nobody with your whole heart like that." And that's pretty much what you and Toussaint was saying. You can't trust.
I mean, it's a lesson, but I don't think it's the best lesson.
Mm-hmm.
The way to teach that lesson.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand it. But now that could later in life, if a person adheres strictly to that, it could cause problems down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand you don't keep trusting the same person over and over. Then again, it depends on who it is.
Yeah.
But trust is objective. If you fail, you fail. You build trust. You may not be great at it. You may not be trustworthy right now, but there's a possibility that you could be trustworthy in the future if you applied yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason why I say that about that other particular lesson, because like say, for instance, crowd surfing.
Mm-hmm.
You just standing on the stage and then you just jump out into the crowd.
Mm-mm. What kind of fool am I?
It's popular at a lot of concerts, especially at day concerts.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you've ever been in a situation where that's what it's all about, trusting this other person or that person, some people get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand the lesson, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't hurt his grandson, but people need to make sure that the lesson, he want that lesson to last forever. What's the implications of forever?
Wow, that's good.
A lot of people won't look at stuff in that light.
Mm-hmm.
And what you may think is good right now may not be a great lesson in the future.
Mm-hmm. Truth. But I'm gonna tell you something personally, man. I really like the lesson, because the first two times he did catch him. He caught him, and he was so high in a happy elephant, and later than porcupine proud that it was a success. But the third time, not so much. And he said to him, don't trust nobody all the time because it's situational. Trust could be situational. If a person is going through a great time in their life, then yeah, you can trust them. But if a person, and I hate to say it like this, but I don't like to say it like this, I don't like to say hate. But if a person is going through a hard time in their life, real bad on their luck, and the lights about to be turned off, there's no food in the refrigerator for the kids to eat, they're about to be evicted and all this stuff, and you leave $100 on your counter because you know that this person has never taken anything before, that person could very well be tempted. I ain't gonna say they're gonna take it, but they could very well be tempted to pick up that $100 to ease the weight of the world on them.
As I say, it's very contextual. Like, say, for instance, it's different than you trusting your grandfather and trusting somebody you don't know.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Rico, let me check your line, brother.
I'm right here.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. We're talking this morning about trust. Is trust, do you give trust, or do people have to earn trust? And what happens in a situation with this grandson and the grandfather? Was that a good lesson? What do you take out of that?
That was a great lesson. You know, first off, I think whether you give trust or make people earn trust, that might be based on the character or your familiarity with maybe the situation. You might not be living in you might be in a new environment. You need directions. You know, you might have certain characteristics that you look for in a person before you decide to ask them for help. Some people might look like if you ask them for help, they might try to rob you. I don't want to ask him.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask her. She look like she over there trying to get some money for some dope. So, you know, yeah, it depends on the situation, on whether you should just automatically give somebody the benefit of the doubt or to make them earn your trust. But I think that lesson was great because to me, it goes beyond trust because that was his granddaddy. So not only did he trust his granddaddy, but he expected his granddaddy to be there. But guess what? Granddaddy ain't gonna always be here.
Come on. That's good. That's good.
Even though you might expect that support, you know, and you trust because you're familiar with me always being there to catch you when you fall. But the reality is one day granddaddy gonna be gone. You might be 1,000 miles away from granddad, and granddaddy might not be able to catch you. So you still need to be careful about how you move, and don't just be so don't be so ready to expect somebody to catch you when you fall, thinking that you could take all type of risk, knowing that I'm gonna be there to catch you. Yeah, man, it don't matter what I do, whatever I do, my folks gonna be there for me.
Yep. Your folks ain't gonna always
so yeah,
be there.
I think that was a good lesson. That was bigger than about trust. That was about expectation to me.
Exactly. I loved it too, Rico. I really did, man. I thought I think it was a great lesson, man, and it's something that he can really hold on to for the rest of his life if he applied to his life in the right way. That's the whole thing right there. Let me go to Annie from Mississippi. Annie from Mississippi, what do you say about that? Did you hear the tester thing that happened between the granddad and the grandson? If so, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I thought it was a great lesson. Taught him, that he can trust him, and then eventually, not be able to catch him. So, I thought it was a great lesson. I just want to say that, in the right time, at the wrong situation, can we trust ourselves? If you put in a situation at the right time in wrong situation, can you trust you? So, to a certain degree, we don't know the things that that we're capable of doing. If you're walking down the street and you down in your luck and you have no money and you left a wallet on the street and the ID is in there, can you trust you to turn it in? Can you trust yourself? So like I said before, for me is earned. I just can't trust people right off the bat, and that comes from having been hurt by people before, and we all been there. So you put your trust in people before, they'll let you down. And some of them had the same last name that you had. Some of your family in your bloodline, and they let you down. So that caused the wall to be built. That causes you to give your trust to the people after they have earned it. You can't go around giving trust. Oh, I trust you. I meet you at church and I trust you already. I meet you in the mall. I trust you already. That's not how I operate. I don't know how about nobody else. But trust of me is earned. And that comes from all the years of experience of putting my trust in the wrong people. So you can't trust the wrong people. Just because you know them a year or two, that doesn't mean you can trust them. You may they know them longer, but you got to let people earn their trust.
Yeah,
and save you a lot of headache, and save you a lot of heartache if you do.
Exactly. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. This is the Morning Glow. We're here every day, Monday through Friday from 7 until 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here again on dkmmediagroup.com. We're talking today about trust. Should trust be freely given, or should trust be earned? Should trust be freely given, or should trust be earned? Go ahead, brother.
Before you go too far, man, I think I gave this example before, and I heard what she just said. And, I've caught myself plenty of times saying, I don't trust nobody. But it makes me think of a scenario. Well, it wasn't a scenario. This was a real life situation where my family was lost in New Orleans when I was young. We went on a family vacation. And this was really our first time having to deal with a roundabout of this size, of this proportion. And we didn't know that this roundabout turned into a one-way, that we were supposed to pay him off of it. We stayed on it. And all these people were at a gas station, sitting outside, hanging out, looking like they're shucking and jiving. And they were screaming, trying to get us to stop. But my stepdaddy didn't trust them. I ain't from here, I don't know these people. They trying to get me to stop, but they know we got these out of town tabs. I ain't trying to stop. And next thing you know, we would hit into a whole lot of traffic of headlights. Going up a one-way street. About to have a car accident. Because somebody was trying to warn us about the trouble that lied ahead, because maybe we weren't the only ones that got caught up on that road. They were familiar with seeing people go up that one way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when we say we don't trust anybody and it has to be earned, is that situational?
Yeah, I think it is, Rico. I really think it is, because a situation like that could have been life or death. That could have been a life or death situation. And had you all just listened to those individuals that was trying to warn you, because they knew the surroundings, they knew the elements in which was out there and that you was going to face. Had you just listened to them, it could have just eased that whole situation over. And it's so much tied into this, man. So much tied into this. Curtis McNeil, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Hey, morning, Glow family. What's up?
Hey, what's going on with you, man? Is trust, Curtis, how do you deal with it, man? Is trust freely given, or does people have to earn it? And if you give it freely, are you making yourself vulnerable? Or if you don't give it freely, or you living too guarded of a life?
Me personally, man, I give trust freely. When I give trust freely, I find out exactly what I can put my trust in. Like, man, life too short to be trying to hide yourself and covet yourself, and life too short for that, man. I trust people to be exactly who they are. If I know that you're a thief, then when I see you steal something, I'm not surprised. Oh, okay. Hey, don't come over here. Get away from me with that. I know you're a thief. You know what I mean? But if I never spend the time to trust, if I never spend the time to trust, I don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to make you earn it. That means that you done caught. There's a possibility that you done caught on to the fact that I'm making you earn my trust. So you're doing everything in the rightful eye to get by, to gain access. And then the minute you gain access, all of a sudden you violate that trust. You know, well, if I would have just gave you access, paid attention, I find out who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Once I find out who you are, then I realize or understand how I can move with you, or if I want to move with you at all. So I'm not scared to take a noggin every once in a while, or I'm not one to be worried about, or can I trust this person, or can I? I'm worried. But if I feel like, if my radar go up and I feel like this person is not to be trusted, like my spirit tell me like this, nah, then I don't have to put anything in you, because my inner spirit, that told me, no, you ain't even got to go through that process with this person. This ain't a good look.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then I just don't go through the process at all.
We talking about trust, and something that just come across my feed. This is on Facebook, and I'm gonna read it to you all. It has a picture of a young boy, look about 18 years old. It says, right here, 18. I'm gonna read this. Everybody around Decatur. So if you're listening to me in or around the Decatur, Georgia area, is being warned to be alert, vigilant, and properly lock your doors. This 18-year-old boy is on the run after stabbing both his foster parents to death on Friday. Known as Merkel, he's 18 years old. He is going around knocking on people's doors, pretending to be homeless, seeking for help. But then he attacked you after gaining your trust. He has robbed 10 homes in the last 2 days. He hasn't gotten far, and the authorities need you to help and to find him. If you see him, please call the police and be careful. Let's flood the fees and help find him. Dr. J, talk to me, brother. We're talking about trust. And this is somebody that has stabbed both foster mother and father, foster parents. And now he's out there on the run. Say he's gained 10 people's trust, went into their homes and robbed them. It's about trust, man. Talk to me.
So
Badge, come to you next.
So he's untrustworthy. But that don't mean I have to take every brother, young or old, or even that age bracket. And I love dealing with young people at that age. He proved himself to be untrustworthy. Unfortunately, a lot of young, and especially in the area, a lot of young brothers probably being harassed because of it, who has nothing to do with that. Which caused another level of distrust, because once the police handle them crazy, assuming, they develop a distrust for law enforcement because they get mishandled due to something that had nothing to do with them out of assumption. And you know, that's a touchy situation right there. You know, that's a touchy situation. But
But see, even that situation right there, brother, it has cost people their lives, man. People that thought his foster parents, mother and father, they're dead, man, because they trusted him into their homes, into their lives, into their existence. And
so
this
can
is
I
go ahead.
Can I play both sides of the coin?
Go ahead.
What if and I pray for him, and I pray for the whole family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do. I pray for him. I pray for the whole family. I pray for everybody's involved in it. But to play the other side, you know how many people I dealt with or deal with that's in foster care that's being abused? I'm not saying that's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
He trusted. He had to trust the system that don't work.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably shouldn't say don't work, but he had to learn to trust the system that don't give its all, maybe, whatever the case may be. So we have to know the whole story before we could say, what happened. I know a lot of people who made it through the system. The majority of the people that I know that made it through the system,
Mm-hmm.
if not 99% of the people, and that came through the system was abused.
Okay. And I could grant that. I could grant that. But let me ask you this question. And now I'm dealing with both sides of the coin. And the foster parents could have been terrible. They could have been terrible. They could have been mistreating them. All kinds of different things could have been going on. But what about the other 10 families that he affected in that way?
And that's what I'm saying. And that's the saddest part. And that's why I say, I'm being careful when I say that. And that's where unfortunately, man, it's as harsh as it may sound. I had to learn that life is never fair. And
Mm-hmm.
and some things are not even meant to be fixed, but to be learned from. So what about the other 10 families? Let's keep them lifted up and continue to pray for them and continue to do this kind of thing and have these discussions so we can come up with some kind of, again, I don't think it can be fixed, but it could be perfected,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know? And that's my purpose of even being on a platform like this is we know those problems are real, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do to again, not to fix it, but make it better, especially for our youths?
Okay. Okay. Badger, what's on your heart? K with the E coming to you next.
Sounds like it's just another part of being human. Those that go through very hard times and make a lot of decisions that hurt a lot of other people.
Mm.
So like Dr. J said, the whole story hasn't been told. There ain't no telling what could have happened.
And I could go along with that. Just like I said with Dr. J, I could go along with that. Maybe he was mistreated, or maybe all kind of things happened inside that home. I don't know. I don't know. I can't. In anything I say at this point will be a speculation. I'll be assuming, and I don't want to do that. But what I'm not assuming is there's 10 other families that he has affected as well that had nothing to do with it. He knocking on people's doors, and in knocking on their door, they trust him. He gave the story about him being homeless and need blah 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 blah. They let him in, trust him in the house, and he robbed him. 10. They say 10 others. Could be more, but they say
Oh,
10 others. What does that have to do with how he was treated inside that foster home?
I mean that can be used as a really good example
Mm-hmm.
of this radio show.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what we say, we can affect even more than that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But talking about that
So,
specifically, what does that say? What does that say about this whole situation? What do the other 10 families have to do with how he was treated inside that foster home?
he's scared to go back to the system because of his experience.
Then don't go back.
They made a choice.
Then don't go back. But that don't mean you have to rob 10 other families.
It's choice.
Mm.
Like
Okay.
I don't. For me, I have become so used to humans being humans.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how trauma affects or choices affect an individual, I speak this phrase all the time: be accountable for yourself, and
Mm.
because you are accountable to others.
And how does that line up with robbing 10 families that had nothing to do with your hurt?
What's not to say that those families had a lesson to learn?
Wow. Okay, Badger. Okay.
So,
Okay.
so
not.
I'm not going to answer it the way
I
exactly
don't
like.
want. I don't want you to answer the way that I want you to answer.
So
I'm just saying, answer.
I'm answering it from my perspective in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so. I- I've seen what humans do to one another, so none of that surprises me. And
You tying all this up together, Badger. We talking about, and just like I said, brother, we talking about this
yeah,
specifically. This guy,
so
hold on. This one guy, he killed his foster parents. Now I can't say about that situation. I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything, and that's why I'm intentionally not saying anything one way or another about that, because I don't know what that situation is like. It's terrible. I know 2 people are dead, but all that stuff that happened to build up to this point, I don't know what it is. But what I do know is he has gone around, from what I read there, knocking on 10 other families' doors, going into their homes and robbing them. Now, how you was treated, if I treat you bad, Badger, if I treat you bad, that does not give you the right to go because I treated you bad, and treat Dr. J bad. That don't give you
so
the right to go and treat to treat Dr. Val bad because I treated you bad.
so for
It's innocent people, man.
so for me, we talk about the devil and we talk about God, which both exist all throughout this world. And people make choices of which one they're going to feed and which one they're going to listen to. Many of us have been through all kinds of situations and stuff that could have led us down a very dark road where we hurt a whole lot of people. And then there are those of us that went through all that dark stuff, abuse, neglect, rape, all kinds of stuff that led us to where we are today based on how we learned.
Did you hear?
So
Go ahead, finish your thought.
so I understand a lot of people are going to have that emotion when it comes to seeing that 10 other people were affected by this human being. That but at the same time, I also hold ourselves accountable for how society has turned out, where we lie to each other and think it's okay,
Badger.
and we don't stand up to make sure those
Okay.
situations hardly happen.
Okay. I think we're tying a whole lot of different things. We're moving a whole lot of things together in this one situation. I think we're tying a whole lot of different things in here.
Because God is a part of everything. And
Okay,
it's
that's
hard
beautiful.
for me not to put everything together because everything overlaps and intermingles. Lying is so dangerous in the effect that we have on human beings. Toya even made a comment about the broken system too.
Okay.
It takes people coming together to change the system.
Badger.
And
Yes,
and situations like you're
Badger, we
talking
gotta move
about
on.
happen a lot less.
Badger, we gotta move on. But you're painting this thing with that's a huge brush you're painting this thing with. And I'm just trying to, there's a little intricate details I'm trying to color in right now. But you're painting with such this wide brush, brother. And that's okay. You have the right to do that. But I don't think that that's where I'm going with this. Toya said something about earlier. She was talking about how she was raped at 9 years old, and she couldn't carry that or turn it over to everybody else because that would not be fair to them. Toya, am I misquoting you? Help me understand. And
No,
Kim,
that's correct. That's correct.
Mhm.
Like let's use for example the aerodynamics between black people and white people. There's a whole bunch of stories where we should not be trusting them. There are a lot of ancestors that have suffered brutally by the hands of them. But we are still taught and raised that you charge somebody for who they are, not for what the race did, not for what somebody else did. And that was a teaching that my father bestowed upon me. You're right. There are a lot of people of that color that did a lot of wrong things. But you don't judge them by the masses. You judge them by how they treat you and how they deal with you. So again, it's not fair to just clump up all men because I got hurt. It's not fair to clump up all teachers because the one that called me stupid. It's not fair to clump up all the police officers for the ones that have done wrong. So, I mean, it's called the benefit of the doubt. And regardless of what, if you prejudge somebody, that's the quickest way for you to be proven wrong. Sleep on me if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Think that I'm like everybody else if you want to. because my mission, my soul mission, despite everything that goes on in the world, I know there's a lot of people that you can't trust. I know that.
Mhm.
But when I wake up during the day and I bring my presence upon people, I make it my business to know that if you can't trust nobody else, you can trust me. And I
Mhm.
choose to be like that, regardless of the masses. Everything we do is a choice. Keep your nose clean and you move like that, you know. But there are certain issues like media. I don't trust the media. I don't trust anything you see on TV. Nope. Don't pay it. Nope. Mm-mm, because I know it's staged. You know what I'm saying? There are certain things that when you navigate through life, you just kind of already know. But when it's talking about an individual person, the individual, I feel like it's only fair to give them the benefit of the doubt until innocent until proven guilty. How about that?
Okay. And Toya, let me ask you this question. K with E, I'm coming to you next. I know I said I was coming to you right then, but I had to go to Toya because of something we said earlier. Now I don't know what happened in that household. I don't know. Anything I see right now will be speculation. I'll be assuming, as I said earlier. And maybe he felt justified in doing that because of the way that he was treated or mistreated. But what does that have to do with knocking on 10 other families' doors, Toya, and robbing them like he did, earning their trust and then robbing them? What does one have to do with the other?
One doesn't have anything to do with the other. However, um, I'm a true believer that, like we were talking about earlier, your discernment will get you caught up if you're not in tune with God. You
Mm-hmm.
know, God put something on my heart a long time ago. You're not supposed to help anybody. You help who God tell you to help.
Mm-hmm.
You running around here, oh, I'm a Christian, I gotta save this. No, because you're gonna help Satan.
Mm.
If you in tune with the Lord, you help who he tell you to help. And oftentimes with that young man, people that know me, the first time he would have came up in my house trying to cross me. Now I'm gonna have something on the side just in case, not because I don't trust you. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm gonna have it just in case. But the first time that young man would have got poked and soaked, I promise you, he wouldn't have made it to the other 9 of them. He would have learned his lesson. So there's 2 things that go on when we goes to dealing with trust in this world. When you trust on anybody other than the Most High, Samson, it could mean your life. Or 2,
Mm-hmm.
you can trust that you the biggest giant, Goliath, and no one has beaten you. But you still don't trust in God. And when that slingshot and rock come that you didn't think was gonna take you down, you're gonna get taken down like a giant. So again, it's a firm believer that when certain things in this world happens or is allowed to happen, somebody somewhere didn't trust in the main person that's telling you something. And for those 9 people or 10 people or however many, I just don't believe, me personally, I just don't believe that God did not give them a heads up. Oftentimes we know, you know how like when your parents tell you don't go out and you want to
Mm-hmm.
sneak out and then you don't make it back home. But that voice told you don't open up that door. But you
Yep.
busy trying to be a good person instead of trying to be a child of God and do what God tell you to do. Be obedient. And some of them, I just don't believe, the wages of sin is death, right? So when I hear things happen, I know it's harsh. But the first thing I think to myself is the wages of sin is death. But not only that, we know that things fall upon the just and the unjust alike. And when it comes to foster people, adopting people, yo, listen, people don't do right. And
Mm-hmm.
and when I hear people do certain things, even with kids, the first thing I think about in my mind is that what happened to trigger that person to be in that way, because you're not going to be able to tell me that nothing happened and they just woke up. Yeah, 1 out of 10. But when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to different situations like that, nah, I believe something went down. It sparked something. And then here we go down the rabbit hole.
Exactly. Let me go with K with E. K with E, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. Finding you all.
Hey, doing well, doing well. Kate, you heard what I read. What do you think about that? What's tied in up in all that? Anything? anything at all?
You know, yep, because my mama dealt with foster kids. They was my brothers and sisters. And so they do go through trauma,
Mm-hmm.
and it affects them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was something in that young man that was just boiling and boiling and boiling, and it boiled over.
Mm-hmm.
These babies go through it, and they loved ones does this to them. And so we don't know if he picked and chose just random houses or were those places that he had already been, because we don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Because he went to houses, but we don't know that. We're assuming. But these people could have already hurted him too in his lifetime. Because he was how old? 18. So we don't know that's 18 years that he could have been traumatized.
But see,
all these
but let me say this to you. And it says he is going around knocking on people's doors, pretending to be homeless. And if he knew, if these people that he knew, they would know that he's not homeless. So I'm taking from that they didn't know him.
But still, he done been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, something done happened down his life. He been in foster care.
Mm-hmm.
I had foster kids. My mom had foster kids. We had one that his daddy, he was 2. His daddy held him over the fireplace because he wet himself, peed on himself, and burnt him.
Mm.
And that little boy carried that trauma with him. So as soon as he got old enough to strike back at anybody, that's what he did.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he got an opportunity. But it boiled up in him. We had another foster child. He in jail right now today behind how he was mistreated. And all he do is run around and he'll charm you up and tweet it, I don't know what. He'll come to my house right now today, get out of jail and come over here, and you would never know he was like that. You know why? Because this is the house he got loved and nourished from.
Mm-hmm.
He got loved here. Every foster kid my mom had comes back to this house. That's why I'm still here. They could be going through something and they'll come. Sis, I need to talk to you. Just to be in Mama Murray's house is a blessing for me. I feel better already because they was treated right here.
Mm-hmm.
Foster kids get mistreated, and they get mistreated before they even get into foster care. So they need to start doing more, and they should have been checking up with that young man because that ain't something that just happened. That's being boiling up.
Mm-hmm.
And they should have been having him in some therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So I fought the system.
Wow.
That's who I fought. I fought the system for that because the system should do better instead of worry about money. They just throw our little young black kids out there into the system, pump them up with all this medication. He probably on medication.
See, my
probably
thing
on
is
medication.
my
They
thing.
probably had him on some
AK.
medication that he never even needed.
K with an E. K with an E. Let me say this to you.
Yes.
And you definitely have the right to feel the way that you feel, and I respect the way that you feel about it and your views on it. But how long are we going to blame, quote unquote, the system? Because a lot of times we say, well, I blame the system, and a lot of times we've been saying that for years. And if we know that the system is faulty, when are we gonna come together and do something so we don't have to worry about relying or counting on the system? When are we gonna do something?
Well, this is a good start. What town did you say this was?
It was in Decatur, Georgia, right here in Atlanta. Well, right outside of Atlanta, they say quote unquote.
So just look. When I tell you the ball is all on the court, the ball is all on the court. So all those that's listening and they live close by, this is an opportunity for y'all to start flooding emails, writing letters, finding out what happened with that young man, find out his history, his background, where he been. Because if they catch him, they're going to kill him. So y'all need to save him because that's a young man that needs to be saved from the system. Because I guarantee you they tried it with my own grandkids and they were young black males.
Okay.
And they tried to put all this medication in them. Then they start acting evil and out of character. Where they get that from? Hold up. Oh, that's that medicine. We're gonna pray. Because they don't need that medicine. That's crap. And I guarantee you, they working at Coca-Cola and doing all the good things, got nice relationships. All of that's dead now. Because we caught a hold of it. You're not gonna let him do that. He's sitting down, he all calm and stuff. Little boy better be active. If a little boy ain't active, something wrong with him. I wish I would give my child a pill because he's too active. No. Let's sit down and read a book together. There's more things to do than put these kids on pills and medication because it messed their head up.
Okay. Good deal. Got to
And
keep
so
this
it's an
thing.
opportunity for
Exactly.
everybody around right here
Mm-hmm.
to grab a hold of it.
Mm-hmm. Toussaint, talk to me, brother.
I must be the most confused person in the world.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Nah,
brother.
me too, Donald. Me
Mhm.
too, Donald. I'm
Mhm.
confused too.
Yeah.
You probably beat me to it. Go ahead and get it.
No, but I'm saying, you know, because we, and Raheem, you said it, we tying a lot of stuff together. And and I'm trying, I'm about ready to hang up and go on my day.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and it's not directed at anybody, but I know that there are people. See, I've been wronged, but I'm not going to knock on nobody's door and kill them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing it. Life is full of choices. And some people have this evil in them. And you can, and I don't, this is not directed at anybody. I've been listening. I want to, but I'm not directing it to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear this sounds good. But let me say one of the things I heard. And it is what it is. It's been said. But for somebody, well, for you to say the wages of sin is death, 10 people's homes have been, for what? Because what they did, they've been killed by somebody that knocks on their door pretending to be homeless. And because they have sinned, that's why they did.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
No. We got to, that can't be.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. What, to me, sometimes we have to point out misinterpretation.
Mm-hmm.
We all are in the wages of sin is death. So when is somebody gonna come knock at your door and kill you?
Mm-hmm.
Because you ain't got it all together either. I'm talking about me. Let me put that at me. And for us to act like sometimes we act like we're not human. Like we some Martian looking at the world from the outside looking in and saying, those people, no, you like that. You're capable of the same thing. You just have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And we see when you, I'm confused because we closer to God. Well, okay, God speak to us, and I'm hearing that, and I'm saying to myself, well, you know, I must not have heard nothing from God my whole life.
Mm. Mm.
I'm just you where you are because you trust. That sounds pretty good. So that means that because I'm still on the point that some of y'all I don't trust now. I trust you less.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I'm sorry.
Mm.
I trust you less because your words you speak, but are you listening to yourself? Because and I'm not directing it because it sounds good, but it don't make no sense to me. Mm-hmm. For me not to trust people because you think I'm gonna just open my door. Why you got an alarm system? Why you carry a gun? Why you can't keep a relationship going? Why the last person you treat just like the person you had before? Is it because you just walking around trusting everybody that you keep getting disappointed with your life? I know my time's up. So y'all go ahead with that conversation because I am lost.
Hang out with us, brother. We're gonna try to pull this thing back around. Let me go to Annie from Mississippi. Rico, coming to you next, brother.
Yeah, once upon a time I was going to become a foster parent,
Mm-hmm. I was
and
too.
when I
We were.
met the little girl, and she had a brother, a little older brother, and they wanted to keep it together, but I chose not to do it because the young man seemed to be very angry.
Mm-hmm.
I spent time when I went there with her, but I spent less time with him, and I just chose not to. My spirit would not let me do it because it seemed so angry. So I just walked away from that foster parent idea. But I really wanted to be one at once upon a time. However, my heart goes out to the families that were killed, well, stabbed or whatever they were.
Mm-hmm.
My heart goes out to them because they had nothing to do with anything. And I don't know. I don't know. I have nothing else to say right here. I'm done with this one.
Okay, good deal. Rico, talk to me, brother. You say you confused?
Yeah, I'm confused. Well, no, I take that back. I'm not confused. I know how everything got confused. And it's about perspectives. And I'm like Donald. Like Donald, man, said everything that I wanted to say. And I'm going to add on to it. Everything that everybody said was correct. I talk about what's creating these children all the time. Even Joe Biden talked about what's creating the super predators.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to use that term, but that's really what this young generation is turning into. They're turning into some living, breathing Grand Theft Autos. And we know that these people exist. Conditions in life has created a lot of people that make certain choices to be evil, opportunistic. Some people are crazy. Some people are dysfunctional. Some people are angry. I talk about it all the time, man. This violence that we see, a lot of it is built from anger. And people choose to act out of frustration.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the reason may be. We know these people exist. But based on the conversation, we're supposed to be looking at this from the perspective of the victims and how not to become victims because of our trust.
Exactly.
Because those people trusted that young man, regardless of what he went through. He might have done it because he was being opportunistic. Maybe he was crazy, delusional. Maybe he was just mad, whatever. Maybe he was hungry. Who knows? But those people trusted him.
Yep.
See, the number one rule, I ain't going to say the number one rule of not life. The number one basic instinct of life is self-preservation.
Mm-hmm.
That's always supposed to be at the back of your mind. So this trust thing is levels to trust. And with my trust, depending on how vulnerable I'm making myself or what's at risk, what's at stake, that's going to determine how quick I am to trust you, how critical I'm going to be about trusting you. Because we know these people exist. Now, I ain't Joe Biden. I ain't saying I don't care what created them. I just want to get them off the street. I'm just saying, you know what? I know what created them. I know they exist. So now I got to protect myself.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on what I'm doing or what somebody's trying to do to interact with me or whatever reason I need to interact with somebody, depending on what's at stake, what I can lose, or what they may be trying to get from me, what opportunity do these people see out of me? Especially if it's random, then that's going to determine my level of trust. Somebody stick $100 bill on your windshield. Uh-oh.
Don't touch that.
We know what that money will do.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna trust that? You gonna get that $100 bill? Somebody might have put fentanyl on it.
Exactly.
Why? They crazy. They evil. They messed up. They whatever the reason is, you got to make sure you don't fall victim to these people.
Yeah.
So you got to have levels of what you trust. You get what I'm saying? So that's how we really got off. We got off because we didn't look at it from the victim perspective. Some people start saying, "Oh, poor foster kids."
Yep.
And see, my thing is this right here, Rico. And I asked the question, man. Even if, and you don't want nobody to be treated bad, but even if he was treated terrible in that home by those foster parents, he went to random people's door, knocked on their house on 10 people family, or 10 different families, and robbed them, earned their trust.
But see, now that's the reason why the conversation went in the direction that it did, because you focused on him and didn't think about the fact that these people were the victims.
Yep, exactly. And that was my point, because and that's why I asked the question: what does how he was treated in that home have to do with him going to 10 other families' homes, 10 other houses, and robbing them? And Kay said, you know,
it has a lot to do with it.
I don't think
it
so.
It does have a lot to do with it.
I don't think so. Go ahead, explain it to me.
At the same time, it doesn't excuse it. It has a lot to do with it, but it doesn't excuse it. The point is why did these people trust him?
So they should not have trusted him.
Were they too trusting? That's the point. The number one basic instinct is self-preservation. So what are you putting at risk? What this man doing knocking on my door? And so now you can answer the door, but you know, hey, you got to start asking some questions. Yeah, what you need. That's why people got Ring door cams.
And see, a lot
so
of
they
times
can talk through the door, or they can talk away from home.
And a lot of times we're in a situation right now, Rico, where you know somebody knock on your door that you don't know, and sometimes even ones that you know, it's almost like you got to answer the door with your gun in your hand. Yo, what's up? What you need? You know, and that's a terrible place to be, man. That's a terrible place to be. But
I'm gonna tell you something. My mom and my stepfather would not answer the door if you didn't call them ahead of time and tell them you were coming. Just like Donna. Ain't that what you said, Donna?
Yeah.
You don't let them know if you come. You don't let me know you coming. You're gonna be standing outside.
Sure is. Okay, who you? Hey, not to interrupt you. My brother Blue, he came to my house and blew. I never did go to the door. Period. People blow all day long.
Man, you disturbing the whole neighborhood, Tucson. Man, you disturbing the whole neighborhood. The people in your yard just blowing the horn like that, man. What are you talking about?
I ain't got to look. It might have been blowing at the neighbor's house.
Wow. Go ahead, Rico. Finish your thought, brother.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty much right there with it, man. I mean, I definitely understood where they were coming from. I mean, I bring this up sometimes a lot about what these children are going through in these households. Not just foster children, but just all these mad children running around here just being chaotic. And we know that they exist. You know, we know that there are some very evil, dysfunctional, opportunistic, crazy people out here. So depending on what I got at risk, you get what I'm saying? If I just hit the lottery, oh man, I might have to be very particular about who I'm communicating with, because people are very opportunistic. We know human nature.
Yeah.
So, you know, as the victims, what can you do as a human being to protect yourself and not trust the wrong people?
508-924-3.
But the line is busy. We're sorry, but the line is busy.
Somebody calling somebody.
But the line is busy. We're sorry, but the line is busy. We're sorry, but the line is busy.
Tucson, I don't know what you got going on over there, brother. Let me keep this thing going. Let me go to Dr. Val. Talk to me, sis. What are you hearing in this whole conversation?
I see what we're missing, and that's why we have what we have. Because you always know what you have because of what you're missing. You know, it's just like ingredients. If you're missing ingredients, how are you going to have a perfect cake? How are you going to have a good recipe if you're missing ingredients? And we're looking at how come this cake ain't turned out right? How come this meal doesn't taste good? Because you're missing basic ingredients. How come we didn't win the game? How come you guys didn't win this game? Because you're missing basic skills. You practiced, but you didn't do the plays right. Simple. It's a simple solution, but we've been missing it for a long time. You guys watched the movie The Forge, and you said you were going to have a discussion on The Forge. I don't know if you did, because I don't come on certain days, but we're missing back to basics. The men are supposed to teach the young boys. The boys are supposed to learn. We've lost a generation. Men that are supposed to, women teach the women teach the daughters. The women are teaching girls, the young girls. They need to know how to be a lady. They need to know how to close your legs. Girls sitting there with their legs wide open. Close your knees. Keep your knees together. All we got to do is keep your knees together. I had to go on Facebook to tell this girl she's posing from church. A girl that I saw grow up in church. She got her legs wide open on Facebook. A Christian girl. Hey, I had to post her in the chat. You need to look, lady. If your mom's not going to tell you, I'm going to tell you. You need to respect yourself. People are watching you. You don't know. So why couldn't somebody else tell her? I'm going to tell her as if she's my child. Men need to reach out. Tell these boys. Tell them. That's all I'm saying. I tell God, I ask God, God, where are the priests? Every man wants to be a king, but where are the priests? Where are the ones from the forge? Where are the men that are teaching you? We're telling them, don't do this, don't do that. You don't got to be God, but you can tell them respect, respect, respect. And that's what we need. They're missing the guidance of the elder. Even just respect, teaching them. That's all I got to say.
Good deal. Good deal. And I don't know if I did it already, but Mama, I see you watching over there, baby. Good morning, Mama. Love you, love you, love you dearly. Good morning. Thanks for watching, Mama. I see you over there. Dr. J, talk to me, brother. Where are we right now, man? What are you hearing?
And I don't know if I took this thing in the wrong direction or what, but you know, again, I was never discredited those people that were misusing in that situation. But Dr. Val said something very, very important. And I would say to Dr. Val, and hear me what I'm saying, Dr. Val. I'm saying it, but not to you. Don't ask me to be something that I've never seen. We watch TV, we sing movies, we watch videos, we hear all that. I'm a king. Nobody wants to be a priest because they don't know what a priest is. When they hear the word priest, they think about the man at the Catholic Church walking around with the ephod. You know, unfortunately, I can't teach my son and my grandsons to be something that I've never seen before. And then when I start teaching my sons and my grandsons, they get to teach their friends. One of the things I used to do when I was married is I would have all my children friends over, right? And you could come over and do whatever you wanted to do. If you drink, I don't have a problem with that. You had to drink outside. Now, some people go against that with pastoring. I didn't have a problem with that. You just had to do things in a respectful way. You weren't saved like me, so that's fine, right? You couldn't get drunk. When you finish with your trash, when you finish with what you're doing, you put it in the trash. I don't care who take it, but take the trash with you, right? I was teaching them etiquette from where they were, right? We would take out, you welcome to come, you welcome to eat and have a good time, but there was a rule to it. You was going to give me 15 minutes to minister to you about etiquette and being a man. And somebody would, like you say, one of the young ladies or somebody would teach them how to be a young lady. Again, I don't talk about the system because I don't believe in the system. The system don't work. And the system is not designed to work. The system is designed to sustain you in whichever state you're in. If you're in a fallen state, then the system will hold you in that fallen state. If you're successful, then the system will force you to be even more successful, if whatever the case may be. We as men, and I'm speaking in general, we don't have a clue of what manhood is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if we did, we would know. And as they say, this is not directed to anybody, but it's for everybody. Until we as Black men raise the standards on our own lives, we'll never raise the standards of other young Black men. We will manage and take care of our children and grandchildren. But what about them young brothers out there? And I like how some people said, we know the system pumps some of these young kids up. We know some of these young kids just don't want to do right. You can't, you know, you can't talk about that. Dismiss that. But we have to. You know, if any among you are sick, let him call upon the elders of the church. Where are the elders? And that's why I said we
That's what I
keep
mean.
blaming and looking for the system to do stuff. But if we going to be priests, a priest is not a king. A priest is a protector. He's a provider. He's
Shepherd.
he's prey. No, he's not a shepherd. He's not a shepherd. He's a provider. He prays for the woman. He protects the woman. You know, he prays over his family. I forget there are four P's that he do, but and I'm trying to say it because I'm rushing, but we have to take responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Raheem, when we stop throwing swords or darts at one another, again, when I get on here, man, I get on to learn, right? So I humble myself. I get on to learn because I can learn something from everybody of how to be better to affect the region, the territory that I'm in. And that's what makes me successful. And it's sad when we find so much wrong in each other that we don't know how to take something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're part of the problem. And I kind of not kind of I say it like it is. We are the problem.
Let me ask you a question. We're talking a lot about now. We started off talking about trust, and now we're talking about the system. And I'm trying to make the connection to how we missed a lot of in regards to talking about the trust thing, because this young man he has violated all trust. And like I said, I'm not going to speak about what happened in that household, but he went many steps past that in knocking on these people's doors and people that he did not know, and went in and robbed them and whatever else that he did in that journey. And they're still looking for him. They're looking for him. And so I'm real concerned about where we are right now in regards to this conversation. I'm kind of concerned. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm still in the same area.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you was talking to me.
Leonard?
Yes, Raheem.
What are you hearing in this, man? I know you look at things a little differently as well. What are you hearing in this whole situation? I mean,
I hear you all giving your
Mm-hmm.
opinions. Well, you know, if there's a specific question that you want me to respond to, please let me know that question because I don't got lost in your
okay.
assault.
The young man killed both his foster parents. He killed
Right.
both of them, stabbed them to death, and
So he a
then
murderer.
went out and knocking on people's doors that he did not know, because at first it wasn't understood. It was thought that he knew these people, but no, he didn't know these people, because in the verbiage it says that, you know, he's knocking on doors and claiming to be homeless. If these people knew him, they would know that he's not homeless. You over there with Jimmy and Janice. You're their foster child. You're not homeless. What are you talking about? But he took advantage of them, robbed them, and whatever else. Is it the system? Is it him? What are you hearing?
It's him. Why would it be anybody else?
Well, it's been said that the system has failed.
Who knocked
They
on the
said
door?
that no, they say the system has failed us now, Leonard.
I don't care what nobody say. Who knocked on the
Mm-hmm.
door? Who
Mhm.
did it? I mean, I don't understand why y'all struggling with it, or what the big so much discussion is about. Are we talking about rehabilitation? Are we talking about the foster care system? Are we talking about people's inclination to hurt other folks? What?
Mm-hmm.
What's the context?
It's a lot. I think from where we've gone is a lot of that. A lot of all that, I think.
Because I don't know this. I deal with cases.
Mhm.
What's the case? I don't care about little snippets that you see in the news and all that. What are the details of the case? I don't feel not one way. What I do feel about it is a crime committed that led to the loss of life. That person needs to be held responsible for that. I don't care where he come from, who he is, what color he is, what chances he has in life, who he stayed. I could care less. He murdered 2 people. That's a murderer.
So you don't think the system has anything to do with that?
No.
Wow.
No, I'm not going to sentence the system. I'm going to sentence him. I'm going to hold him accountable for what he did. I have reason to hurt lots of people, but I don't. I don't care where you came from. It don't give you no right. It don't give you no great reason to do something to somebody else. What has happened is y'all don't accept the notion that hurt people and all that crap I hear. Yeah, it might be true, but it ain't causal. Because if that's the case, everybody would be doing it, wouldn't they? So miss me with the rhetoric.
So basically, Leonard, so basically what I'm hearing you say is a lot of people are making excuses for him.
All the time. People do that all the time. As if single mothers can't raise decent children. As if poor people shouldn't be decent people. We want to make excuses for everything and everybody. Well, you know who's not making no excuses? God. He's not giving you no excuse, and he know everything about you. The most you can do is apologize and ask for forgiveness and change your life. That's all I'm interested in.
Good deal. Good deal.
If you made a mistake, like God just dealing with people with terrible coincidence in different cases that you wouldn't even imagine, but because you live on the edges of the news, you never get a full picture. You never get into the actual details of a story because the news is meant to hook you with a headline. I can't go with the headlines when parents call me and ask me to look into their cases. I have to go get the details and the facts of the information. And you can, a lot of people make so many excuses. If we quit letting people have an excuse, that might be a great deterrent to their behavior.
Good deal. Stay right there, Leonard. Got to keep it moving. Stay right there for a second. Let me go. I was going to come to you, Badger. I know. What's going on, bro?
I'm really about to have to head out. I kind of want to extend on what he was saying and what I was trying to touch on earlier. Seems like I jumbled my words, so I want to make sure I'm clear. That 18-year-old that went knocking on the doors and did all the stuff that he did made a choice. Of who, the bad wolf versus good wolf, devil versus God, so on and so on and so on, however a person wants to word it, right? But I was also just saying that the person that opened that door also had the choice to listen to God for discernment. So I just, and that's how I view most things. I mean, I'm always reminded in these situations of the situation with Jesus. He knew exactly he was going to betray him because God told him. So the young man, now this is me speaking from my perspective. The young man did what he did. He murdered 2 people. Needs to be held accountable. Did he have a screwed up life? It's very possible. Many of us have. Not everyone had good parents and all that stuff. But we still had to make a choice all throughout our life. So
Badger, what you're saying is, if the people had proper discernment, they would have known better than to open that door when somebody's knocking on the door, and open the door and see who it is.
That is my belief. Yes.
Okay, Leonard, you wanted me to come back to you. What's going on, Leonard?
Based on them comments, I want us to make sure don't charge God foolishly.
Mm-hmm. So you don't agree with what Badger just said?
No.
Why?
Because one, it was not God's will that you should be murdered because you open your door, or you should be robbed because you open your door because somebody knocked. That's because that's the way this world is, not how God is.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to always remember, and a lot of people want to attribute everything. I know it's a great to ease the hurt, like a Tylenol would. You know, the pain, but you take a little pill for the pain.
Mm-hmm.
I know it may hate to take that pill to believe that, but that has just leave the door open then. Would you do that?
Wow, Leonard.
No, because you ought to have better sense than
Leonard. Lord Jesus.
Like I say, you knock on my door and people say, I was just didn't know you wasn't, because if you came by my house or whatever, then you lost.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't invite too many people. And when people do come to my house, I don't invite them in. I step outside. Before I need to know what you're here for, what you're about, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But this notion that one, I should expect this because of I don't like when people misattribute God's will to what this world is doing.
But
too many people
do it. Hold on. I want to clear something up real quick, please.
Badger.
All right, have a good day, y'all.
No, you ain't got to go to West. Stay right there for a second. But what he's saying,
I gotta head out the door. That's what.
Okay,
yeah, I have appointments. Like
okay,
I gotta go.
But
I want to make sure, based on what he just said, I want to make sure that I was clear.
Mm-hmm.
Through our life, we know humans are humans. Humans that do bad, evil things, and all kinds of things of that nature. I guess I'm assuming that folks would learn from that. As Dr. Jordan also said earlier, we watch TV shows, we see all these reality shows, we see all these things out in the news, and so on and so on.
You got limited time. So explain to me what they got to do with discernment from opening the door. Explain to me that part. That's the part I need to understand.
Because for me, every moment in our lives is a lesson from God, and that is my belief, and it is how I view the world. So if we learn from it, we learn from it. If we don't, we don't. And a lot of times it can put ourselves in situations that could cause us harm.
Leonard, you and Badger are very tight, man. Do you agree?
Wait, Raheem, can I just defend myself right quick?
That is
hold on 1 second.
Excuse me. That is Badger's point of view, but I want everybody else to know that's Badger. Badger may have a relationship with God that way.
Thank you.
You know if you don't.
But as a whole, do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with nothing as a whole. Because there's too many parts.
So do you agree with that? Then take that as a whole out. The discernment in regards to opening the door.
No, I'm not on board with that at all. Now, if you do get a word from God about it, that's your business, God.
Okay.
But some people will get. We want to make sure that, you know, and it's a learning process. It's a learning curve. The difference between your voice and God's voice, God's intention and the world's intention.
Wow.
See, we have to get more acquainted with that, because a lot of people misrepresent that regularly.
Stay right there, Leonard. Stay right there. We got to keep it moving. Dr. J, you say you wanted to say something. Kurt, coming to you next, brother.
I just wanted to do the little thing you do. That is not the views of Pastor Dr. Darrell Jordan. What Badger said. That is not, by no means was I painting that picture that it should have happened. I don't have remorse for anybody. My heart goes out for both sides.
Yes.
I'm not one of them that say, you know, God told me and this. No, I'm not. No, that is not my view. My heart goes out for both sides.
Exactly.
That's my take.
Good deal. Good deal. Curtis, talk to me, brother.
You know, hearing everything that I've heard thus far,
I can completely understand the points being made by all. That although his wording may have been a little off, what he's saying, or what I think he's speaking to, or what my spirit is saying he's speaking to, is he's speaking to the ability of when you know something just ain't right. And you ignore that. But it sounds to me that we're just isolating an incident to gain a yay or nay, right? The truth of the matter is, both from a human being living in society and a human being living in society that deals with these type of people on a daily, constant, and regular basis, it sounds to me like, in a roundabout way, we throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Because if we just deal with the issue of this guy committed murder, send him to jail, give him the death penalty, we still have not corrected that which is wrong and or broken. There's a whole lot. I don't step back and I don't listen to everything. There is a whole lot of things that have gone wrong throughout this process that need to be corrected. Sister Val, Dr. Val said something that we just ran right over it. She said that when you have a situation such as this, you have to understand that there is a missing ingredient. There is a precipitating factor to what we are discussing right now. But it is very easy for us to just deal with the crime, right? And be done with it. But here's the problem. Did we really deal with the crime when we just smash this kid up, throw him in jail, give him a death penalty, and kill him? Did we really deal with the crime?
How do you deal? How do you deal with the crime, Curtis? What does that look like? Because you got these two people that's hold on, Curtis, hold on, brother. Let me ask you the question, and I'm gonna give y'all the floor to answer it. How do you deal with the crime when these two individuals are dead, man? And I don't know what they did or what they did not do, but they're dead though. And you got this individual that's going around to 10 different houses and robbing these people. How do we deal with the crime, and how do we deal with the crime with these people being dead like that, or what have you? How do you deal with it? What do you do?
Okay, so it is very simple. It is very easy.
Be sensitive, Curtis. Let me say this one more thing. I'm sorry, brother. I don't mean to cut you off, but I want you to take this into account. Be very sensitive to the fact that somebody may be listening to this broadcast right now that's tied into the two dead people. So be sensitive to them as well. Be very sensitive. Be very sensitive, brother.
I am.
Oh, go ahead.
Whatever city that was that happened in, whatever city that was that happened in, how is it that this young man who murdered 2 people was allowed to walk around to 10 other people and convince them? Are you telling me he convinced them in the moment on site? Or was his convincing over the course of 2 days, 3 days? When 2 people were slain,
you lost me, brother.
There should have been a statewide bulletin that went across the saying, hey, we are looking for this guy to speak to him. We don't know if he's a suspect, but we're looking for this guy to speak. That's
Curtis,
number one.
Curtis, listen to me, brother. Listen to me for a second, man. Because I'm trying to get a grasp on what you're saying. Because listen, in Baltimore, let's deal with your city in Baltimore, Maryland. If somebody don't want to be found they're not going to be found because they can go underground. They can go underground. And I know here in Atlanta, and it happened right here in Atlanta, in Decatur. If a person want to go underground, but they're going to go underground, man, you're not going to find that person if they don't want to be found until they come back up. And I know that's like that in Baltimore.
You are absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
You are absolutely right. But the person who goes underground does not come up. You understand? If you're going underground, that means you're going underground. You're going out of sight, out of mind. You're not going to somebody's house. The problem is there was a lack of path of information. I'll give you a prime example. In the city of New York, do you know that at one point during the mid 80s, early 90s, there was a report that circulated through the city, through the higher levels of the city, that the city of New York had a total of 10 serial killers per year that were never caught. But because they did not pass the information on, these serial killers was allowed to continue to exist in whatever community they was in. The report even went to the point of saying 7 out of the 10 serial killers stopped due to being arrested for other crimes. 1 out of the 3 that remained either stopped because the police was getting close, and the other 2 stopped. They never stopped. They just moved to other cities. That was the report. But because the city of New York did not pass that report to the people, these people was able to walk right by, and you didn't know that, oh, dude's a serial killer.
Kurt, I'm gonna tell you something, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the thing about the hood. The hood will tell you, hey, leave that boy alone, man. You know he got about 5 bodies, 6 bodies. He don't mind getting enough. The hood will tell you that. But all I'm saying is, when you look at the overall thing, I'm not saying he's not wrong for what he did. He's dead wrong. It could be anger displacement. We don't know what happened at that. We don't know what happened in his foster care treatment that sent him off the deep end and made him murder those 2 people. We don't even know if the reason.
Got to keep it moving, Curtis.
he's
Got to keep it
setting
moving, brother.
people up
Got to keep it moving. Finish your thought real quick. You got to keep it moving, man. Got to keep it moving, because my thing is this right here. And I'm not here to give anybody their opinion. Everybody, and that's why I love the broadcast. Everybody got the right to have their own opinion, whether it's agreed upon or not. But my thing is this right here, man. I'm hearing I think, and this is what I'm hearing, and I could be wrong, but I think we're making a whole lot of excuses for this individual. I think we're making a whole lot of excuses. Okay. That's fine. You don't, Curtis. I gotta move on to somebody else, brother. You had the floor for the amount. I gotta be fair to everybody.
Right.
What do you want? What, Curtis? What do you want me to do? Just keep staying with you? I can't do that, brother. I got other people on here, man. Okay. Let me go to Toya with a T. Toya with a T. Talk to me. And my thing is this right here. I think we're making excuses. I just think so. Nobody don't have to agree. Just like y'all got y'all opinion. I can't have mine.
No. No, you cannot.
I'm saying, right? Everybody got their opinion, and I can't have mine.
No.
That's crazy.
What is this you speak of? Have your own opinion.
Exactly.
Your opinion of what, Raheem?
You need to agree with everyone.
No.
Based on your opinion of what?
Curtis just said what he said about this whole scenario, and I got to go back to Toya because we're being very unfair to her right now. But my thing is right here. He had his opinion about how he feels. And I say we're making a whole lot of excuses. That's my opinion. We're making excuses. And it ain't right. Raheem, hold on, brother. You just talked 10 minutes. I got to go to somebody else. I can't stay with you, man. It's not the Raheem and Curtis show. That's my brother. I love him deeply, but I got to be fair to everybody. Toya with the T, the floor is yours, sis. What's on your heart?
Okay, so we still on, because we was talking about the guy who broke into the house, right?
First, he killed his 2 foster parents, stabbed them to death. And then he went to random people's houses and knocking on the door and robbed them.
Oh, but he didn't unalive the people he robbed.
He didn't say it again?
He didn't unalive the people that he robbed?
No. They didn't say it. He just robbed them. Yeah, pretty much robbed them from what they say in the caption that I read.
Right. Well, you already know the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And when we don't raise our children up to know who God is, that only opens up the door for the enemy. And even if you do teach your child that, when we become of a certain age, we still take on the choice to decide to be wicked or to decide to do the right thing. Okay. Because I know and believe the Bible, Abraham and them didn't have no Bible. God talked to him, and God talked to us too. And you got to make a decision. And that young man made a decision to be wicked despite of whatever happened to him. Now, because I know that being hurt allowed me to make a lot of wicked choices and decisions. Typically, when I see someone operating wickedness, the first thing I think about is what happened for them to respond like that. There's a scar, there's a hole in their soul somewhere that helped them to accept that kind of wickedness in their heart and then turn around and put it out there. So at the end of the day, I still know that when somebody makes those actions, they've accepted wickedness into their hearts. Hurt people, and that's what it is. And that's where that's coming from, right? But not even when you use that example, let's look at the example of, like we said, in the early 1600s on why they would be wicked with us just because of our color. It's not oftentimes something that you was raised to do. It's not oftentimes something that you was even influenced to do or peer pressure to do. But that's what the spirit of the enemy does. He infiltrates your body, possess your body, and helps you to commit wicked acts. But even in that, we know everything works to everybody's good. You know what I'm saying? The enemy sole job is to try to do everything that he can wicked to help you disprove who God really is. And a lot of us actually ushers us in. So when it comes to instances where we know that things of this nature is happening to people, you know that regardless of what, it's the enemy, it's the spirit and principalities in the people that's actually committing those offenses. You know what I'm saying? Now, to the portion of what I heard Kurt talking about people walking around knowing that someone has committed X amount of crimes and ain't saying nothing. You know, I just cut somebody off the other day because they told me that they know about something that had happened to somebody some time ago, and they didn't call no police and tell no police. Oh, I'm not finna be around you, because if something happened to me, you're not gonna tell on me either.
Yeah.
You're not gonna help them find me either. So at the end of the day, we know that where the police get their information from is the people on the streets. We know the community is the one that knows what's happened, what's going down, why it's going down. And oftentimes nobody says anything. We know when somebody be getting abused and touched and don't say nothing. The family know, the brothers know, the CPS worker know, the teachers know. Everybody be to know what's going on. And everybody will turn a blind eye. And then when the individual commits a crime, they be like, oh, I never would have thought. How could you not have thought? You knew what was going on. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we can try to speculate whatever we want to. We know that evil typically is begotten by evil. And even if things happen to the just and the unjust alike, the unfortunate part is that some of the evil gets out of control because some of us are really not doing anything about it. We're not standing up for it. We're too scared to violate, or, for some instances, Kay was saying earlier that, before kids get to foster care, they could already be abused. But best believe there's aunties, brothers, mothers, cousins, teachers, counselors who saw signs and did nothing for whatever reason, and it spiraled out of control. And until we learn how to use that power that God gave us, whether it's prayer, whether it's embrace them when we know something is going on, or whether it's actually pull a trigger and say, hey, this abuse is going on and we need to try to intervene, we're going to continue to start to see some of these actual instances continue to happen. And then everybody walk around like, oh, I didn't think. But yeah, you should have known it was coming.
Exactly. Exactly. Wow. We're going to go to Rico. Then, Brother Pete, we coming to you next, brother. Be on standby. Don't you hang up on me. Rico, talk to me.
I don't want to be offending anybody, make anybody think I'm coming off in a type of certain way. So I'm gonna apologize because I might be coming off the wrong way sometimes. But I was a little confused because I'm trying to tie in the question of the story that Raheem gave based off what we were talking about. You know, I thought he was trying to tie both of those in. The thing about the grandson falling into the grandfather's arms, but then having to learn not to expect the trust that he would always be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the trust issue thing. And so, you know, that's why I was getting confused or lost. But I also said that everybody was telling the truth. Everybody was right. And to be honest with you, we could have this same conversation about Ted Bundy. But the difference is I ain't gonna say the difference. The thing is I have to associate that with this conversation. And I associate Ted Bundy and the foster child with the wolf in sheep clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there might be a lot of reasons why Ted Bundy turned out the way that he did. There are a lot of reasons why Jeffrey Dahmer turned out the way that he did. There are a lot of reasons why this foster child turned out the way that he did. So I have to wonder, you know, if when Raheem brought this conversation up, and he said, "What should we do about the young man?" Was everybody, well, I guess maybe everybody's opinion was based off of what should we give him sympathy or try to understand why he did what he did, or what should we do as a society, knowing that these people exist ever since Ted Bundy.
Mm-hmm.
These people exist, man. We live in a world, man, with some very wicked people. We live in a world with a lot of people with very good intentions. We live in a world with people with a lot of evil intentions. And then we live in a world with a lot of people that know how to manipulate. They're so opportunistic and good with it that they can disguise it. And they can be that wolf in sheep clothing. So I have to use my gift of discernment to try to see if I can find out if that sheep really is a wolf. If that foster child is over here, why he over here knocking on his door like this? What's going on? Wait a minute, don't open that door.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, baby, you all right?
Yep.
He don't normally do this. So you ask, what should we do? We should do the same thing we should do when we found out that there was some Ted Bundys.
Mm-hmm.
Some people so charismatic, some people so charming that they could have been attorneys, they could have been actors. Women loved them. And he used that charm to hurt whatever reason. All of it was evil. Whatever created him, the outcome, it was evil. Yeah, the foster child robbed 8 people. He just robbed them. But he still manipulated them and took advantage of them. So what I would say is for people that's listening to this broadcast, me being the empath that I am, what I would do is I would live my life trying my best to use my gift of discernment. And that's going to come with me being suspicious of people's behavior because I know how people are.
Mm-hmm.
I know the human nature of people. Some with good intentions, some with bad intentions, and some with wolves in sheep clothing. And so, you know, we have to be aware of this. And so I apologize if I offended anybody. You know, I have sympathy for the foster children that go through what they go through. I mean, I'm the one that I think sometimes I might overwhelm everybody with the sympathy for the children and the traumas that they go through and how dysfunctional the society is and how the government needs to step in because the church just can't go in and take people's children that don't need them.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that these people turn out to be certain ways. Some of them still turn out to be good. Some of them still turn out to be bad. And if they turn out to be like a Ted Bundy, I have to be aware of that charming person that might be coming at me with bad intentions. So once again, I take from this conversation that I have to always be wary of my trust. And my trust is going to depend on what I have at stake. My safety, my self-preservation. Every 24/7 of my life when I interact with people, I'm always gonna have that basic root foundation in me to still gotta be looking out for my best interest.
Mm-hmm.
What intentions does this person have for me? Are they really there for me for the right reason? Are they over here for the right reason? Or are they over here just to take advantage of me, my vulnerabilities? Let me make sure I can secure myself so my vulnerabilities aren't exposed, so they just can't get access to it, no matter how good they are at hunting me.
Mm-hmm. Wow, good deal, good deal. There's a lot going on with this topic, man. There's a lot going on with this topic, a whole lot.
Hey, Raheem,
Yes, ma'am.
I got to get out of here. I got to go. Got to
Mhm.
take a trip. But yeah, I didn't even speak on.
We're
the
sorry,
families.
but the line is busy. We're sorry, but the line is busy. We're sorry, but the
I
Anyway,
I know who
I
I know who it
didn't
is.
even
I'm not
speak on
gonna
that
call. I know who it is. I'm not gonna call him out like that though. I know who it is.
Okay, well,
Mhm.
well, I didn't even speak on that part. But when Badger has said what he said about, we have to understand that it ain't putting it on God. God is in control of everything. We have no control, none whatsoever. And it's people that got hurt in that Bible that did not deserve to be hurt. And
Mhm.
so we're on this earth. He's trying to let us know that those people say that the things happening in the Bible was fake, it was this, it was that. And he's steady showing us that if it happened to them in the Bible, it can happen to us on earth.
Mhm.
So it happened. We have no control whatsoever. But it's a time to be prayed up. And in this day and time, let me tell y'all, I went to feed my dog a minute ago. Tell me God ain't a protector. I didn't even lock my door. I didn't close it. It was
Mhm.
still open. I thought I closed it last night. I'm all the way in the back of my house, sleep all night. I just went to feed my dog to realize, hey, you didn't close the door. Don't unlock it. That's God.
Absolutely.
And when I
Absolutely.
answered my door, I got a ring doorbell. And I'm like everybody, like I think that was Tucson. What Tucson said, they come over there and they didn't call first and don't blow the horn because my mama said you blow for not to be disrespectful, but you blow for hoes, you don't blow for me.
Mm-hmm.
So don't blow your horn in front of my house neither, because I'm not going to pay you no attention. Don't show up over here. My children can show up over here without letting me know they're on their way. And I ain't at home. You ain't at home. And sometimes I say, I'm all the way in the back of the house. You should have called me. I would open the door for you. I don't feel like getting up, and I'm not getting up.
Mm-hmm.
And they be mad. But I don't care. You gonna respect me. Call me first. Respect my wishes.
Mm-hmm. Good
That's
deal.
it. So we are not responsible for what happened. All we have to do is pray. This is the time to be prayed up and pray that we don't ever get caught up in something like that, and it don't happen to us. Because it can happen to us just like it happened to those families.
At the
So
drop
when
of a
God
hat.
allowed things to happen, we need to pay attention to what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
We can't look for a reason. We got to look for pay attention, because it can happen to any of us.
Yeah.
Literally.
Exactly. Good.
That can happen to any of us or our family.
Mm-hmm.
So it's time
Absolutely.
to pray up. And I pray for the families that had to go through it. And I pray for the families that got to deal with him. And I pray that they catch him and get that young man some help. Because that's what he needs. Even if he got to be institutionalized for the rest of his life, he needs help. And he could be a blessing to somebody else. And I have a blessed and wonderful broadcast.
Hey, you do the same, sis. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Brother Pete, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
How y'all doing this late morning show? I hope everybody's doing well. Got you a charged topic this morning. How old was this young man?
18.
Oh,
18 years old.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a little disturbing. Very unfortunate. Don't know the history, so we're unable to really, without looking into a file and getting some clarity on the person's background and experiences. We don't know. Trauma. We don't know. Demon seed, entertaining, listening to the wrong stuff. We just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That would definitely cause for some form of evaluation. At 18, aren't you about to be released out of adoption service?
Yeah. He's on his last leg. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think 18, that's somewhere between there and 21, they let you go, no?
Yeah.
So he sounded like he was getting ready to be set free.
You age
so
out.
What set him off? What happened?
Mm. Yeah, you definitely.
What set him off? That he would kill killed the foster parent, and how long was he with the foster parent? So many questions, but it's unfortunate whenever there's a loss of life. And being at that young age, we would hope that he would be able to be redeemed. You want people to be given a second chance as much as possible, right? We talked about something last weekend. When you start understanding how the creator of all living things don't see it like we see it. Like I say, in our mind, you created the worst, effect, act known to man, and you should get it, the worst, right? But I'm telling you, God don't see it like that. He still love that soul just as much as he love yours.
Yeah.
He don't like the wrong that they did at all, right? The sin. So we're not making excuses because if it happened to me or mine, I might be way far off on the other side. Hopefully, I wouldn't. But that's a charged situation, man. Loss of life is the ultimate, and unfortunately, we poke and prod and we do things to people, and they get a mentality of, all right, this is it. I'm going all out. I don't have nothing to lose. It's a bad place to be.
Yeah,
it's a bad place when somebody is provoked to the point of wrath that they're determined to kill. Good Lord.
Exactly. Tucson, talk to me, brother.
I'm gonna have to calm down. I'm sorry. I apologize. Everybody's not Christian. And I don't know if it's a discerning thing when life catches you off guard. I don't know. It happens to all of us every day.
Yep.
You didn't see the saying, I didn't see that coming. But you pray for discernment, and you have the spirit of discernment.
Yes.
But some things catch you off guard. Shoulder.
So you don't agree with discernment? You don't agree with the fact that discernment should have let them know or told them not to open that door?
They got people with discernment die every day. That's just my opinion.
Wow.
We can say what we want to. That sounds good, but I don't. Just me. I don't agree with it. I just don't, because life has your number, and you're not gonna see it coming. You're gonna be I can't figure it out. How do people get hit by train? And you say, well, they didn't have the spirit of discernment. I don't agree with that. Nope. They got prophets and preachers and teachers and bishops. They get hit by train, as well as criminals, as well as the saved and the unjust, and it just happens. Life hits people in the face all the time, and we try to figure out. And let me tell you something else. I never will say I never thought they would do that.
Yeah.
I won't make that statement no more. Because I had he was just like my brother. We would sit, watch the game together, sit down over and over and over again. And I didn't think for the life of me that I would get a call that he had killed his wife, shot the child, and blowed his brains out. Never thought it would happen.
Wow.
Pastor and on the sheriff's department. So I don't have that answer. So when we put things in when we try to share, we share from where we are. And see, we can't say that those people didn't make the necessary precautions. They might have just, caring can get you killed.
Yeah.
Look what happened to Jesus. Caring to get you killed.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes the enemy is in our company. He picked Judas. He shouldn't have done that. He should have known. He's the rock in the weary land.
Wow.
So, I mean, hey, y'all have a good day. Y'all got me today.
Got you today. Stay right there, man. We about to do our pledge. Stay right there. We need our pledge today. Cassandra Alexander Green.
Yes, sir.
We talking about. I know you. I don't know if you're still listening. Did you hear the situation with the young man, 18-year-old?
No.
18-year-old, and I don't have it before me right now, but I read it earlier. But 18 years old, he was in foster care. He stabbed both his foster care parents, killed them, stabbed them to death, and went out to other people's homes, knocking on the door, 10 people to be exact, from what they're saying right now. And they trusted him, and he robbed them, 10 of them. And they're saying, and what do you think about that? Because some people are saying that the system let him down. Some people are saying it was his fault. He did that. He needed to be held accountable. Cassandra, how do you feel about that?
Well, because I've worked a lot with foster care children for Department of Human Services, many of those kids have been severely abused. And I'm talking plenty of them. So you take 10, probably 9 of them, 8 of them have been abused, and sometimes severely abused, either by the parent for the reason why they're in foster care, or by foster care parents or children in foster care themselves. So the mentality of kids that are in foster care, most of the kids that I know that have been in foster care or are in foster care now, they are emotionally damaged. So no, people don't want to say, oh, they just need to be accountable for what they do. I'm sorry. Yes, they need to be accountable, but these kids were jacked up. Came from jacked up situations. The kind of abuse that you don't even want to imagine. So I hate the fact that he did that. I don't know the situation. I don't know how his foster care parents were. I don't know what happened to him, why they had to put him in foster care from the beginning. But we better be careful when we judge people. We better be very careful. You don't know what that person has been through. Any of us might be able to snap if we in the right situation. Or the wrong situation. But we need to remember that.
But let me ask you this question here, Cassandra, because I can agree with what you're saying. I don't know, and I never said what happened in that particular home, so I didn't touch on that too much.
Oh no! I'm just saying. I know you didn't say anything.
No.
I'm not talking. I'm just saying.
No, but
we do not need to be trying to judge them.
But my question is this: if he was mistreated in a home, my heart goes out to him. I'm sorry he had to endure that. My heart also goes out to the people that was murdered, and goes out to them as well. But what does that have to do, Cassandra, and tie this together, because I know you probably can, with the 10 other homes that he went to, knocking on the door and robbing them?
If he is in a mental break, Kurt, know this: if somebody is having a mental break, are they thinking rationally? Are they thinking about, hey, this person has been really nice to me? You know what? No. If you snap, you snap. You don't care who it is. You might kill your entire family. And people have done it. So I'm not justifying anything. I'm just saying, if he was in a mental break from whatever has happened to him in his life, he's not thinking about Miss Jones was really nice to me, her and her husband. You're not thinking rationally. So anything is possible. I'm surprised he didn't kill him. I'm just saying. Because when people are in that type of a state of mind, nobody is off limits. I don't know. you know me, this might not be a good one for me because I work with foster care children and have worked with foster care kids for years, worked with mental health patients for years. So I might not be a good person to ask this question.
Good deal. Jay, what are you hearing, brother?
Well, I mean that is the same thing I said when I said, you know, my heart goes out for the family, but that this young man was dealing with a traumatic situation, and we don't know what triggered it. And it don't mean that he's a bad kid. It don't mean that the parents were bad. It you never know what happened, and when, as the woman of God said, when a person is in that frame of mind, and not just kids, even adults, when they're in that frame of mind, they gone. Everything is blank. And I think that's why I was very careful of everything I said, because I didn't want to sound like I was in favor of people being hurt, but I didn't want to sound like I was passing judgment against this kid. As I say, my heart goes out for that kid, because there are so many people that I know came up through the system, in the system, and everything else, that has been abused, even by the parents, the biological parents, the adoptive parents, and they get a bad rap. They do. They get a bad rap, and I remember dealing with a young man at the hospital, and he was in that dark place, and they treated him so bad. And I happened to go in there, and they had him locked in this room. And I asked the doctor, I said, man, can I just talk to him? And he said, well, you know, at your own risk, but I don't recommend it because he's dangerous. I said, well, that's a chance I take. And he was sitting on the floor, and I went and sat on the floor with him, because standing up made him feel like I was
towering over him. Yeah.
Towering over him. Yeah. So I sat on the floor, and the medical staff had treated this young man so harsh and so bad, and all he wanted, Raheem, was somebody to just listen to him. And we had a great conversation, but they didn't want to believe the fact that this young man was dealing with some traumatic situations. And they didn't want to acknowledge, when I went and shared the information with them that I had gotten from him, they dismissed that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what they wanted to do was give him medicine. And my thing was, so what's the purpose of me talking to him? If you're going to let me come in here and have me to write stuff up on him, then why you even let me do that? If you still going to give him this information, give him this medication, dope him up, he homeless, you're going to keep him in here till he's good and drowsy, and then send him out on the street. And this was a young man. He was a good kid. He had some real problems going on in his life. He had problems going on that adults couldn't handle, you know, and they wasn't willing to listen to it.
Dr. Val, talk to me, sis.
Like I said, if the childhood traumas are not dealt with, they grow up into adult taking them out on unhealed. You're not healed, and then it goes into chaotic, psychotic, worse situations, and could go into trying to numb those, quiet those noises, and then it just gets worse if it's not dealt with. And so we do need healing, and there's all kinds of ways to receive healing, but if we don't get it, then we're just damaged, until we get healed. And there's all kinds of ways to get it, and just get it. And that's where we have to get the healing, and there's ways to get it if we want it. And healing hurts. Healing, the healing is a process. And that's where we have to get it. So that's
Good
why I
deal.
believe in healing. I do believe in healing, and I do believe we can be healed. I do.
Brother Pete, talk to me. Brother Pete, you there?
Yeah, yes, sir. I'm sorry. I'm on mute. That's it, like we were saying. It's a charged situation. We don't have enough knowledge or information to critique or make a intelligible statement on issues like this. These are situations for evaluation, comprehension, diagnosis, and then some form of attention, treatment, something. Because this is horrible. This goes to all the social ills and wrongs that exist, and it's just so unfortunate. It's so much, we don't want to sound like a make-believe kumbaya, but this is just the epitome, the epitome of qualified nonsense that goes on in the world. An 18-year-old, birthed by two, and ended up somewhere else, to the point that they end up taking life. Come on, robbing, and you 18.
Yeah.
Come on, 18. You barely just warmed up for life. What's going on that you already at the point of taking life?
Yeah.
Something wrong.
Yeah, something
Something
seriously wrong.
drastically wrong.
Yeah.
So rather than just throwing the living soul under the bus, I would definitely want to know what happened. Oh, they come here evil. Come on, man. Cut the nonsense. You teach a dog, treat a dog right. It'll respond and treat you with love.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me?
Exactly. Well, I'm looking at the clock, y'all. It's time
Well,
for huh? Go ahead, brother.
No, go ahead.
I'm looking at the clock. It's time for us to get out of here for today, man.
I'm sorry. I'm playing games with mute. If you say that and I hit mute and you say no and I'm on mute again, I'm sorry. Let me do this. This is why, family. This is why living right, understanding the division between right and wrong is so clear. So many daily activities in society and the world tell us it's okay. It's not. It's not. Sex for married folks and adults. I don't care what nobody tells you. You ain't got no business having no sexual relations with nobody unless you're an adult, and you should be in a committed relationship. Why? Because the alternative is carnage and this type of stuff that we talking about right now. Come on, man. Just coming here talking about you hate somebody because of how they look. It's foolishness that shouldn't be tolerated. And it contributes to all these ills and these damaged souls and these wounded people. And do they ever heal? Folks have been damaged as children and they open their older years of life. 60, 70, 80 years old, they ain't healed yet from the trauma and the damage. Do better. Stop doing all the wrong that you can. Just because you can do it don't make it right. Don't do it. Even if you don't believe in God and don't want to serve God, just treat people like you want to be treated. Even if you don't like them, treat them with some form of respect. Do something to make the world a better place. How about that? Try that today. Put that hat on. Come on, man. It's ridiculous.
You know why?
Let's do better, family.
Can I tell you why,
Because
Pete?
we can.
Pete, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna throw this at you. You know why? Because I just wanna be right. Everybody say I just wanna be right. Just wanna be right. Just do right. That's what the old choir from back in the day saying. They said they just want to be right. You ain't got to be nothing. Just be right.
Right. The old Sister Minnie Jones said she had a baby that died in and is still in her now. She's 90-some years old. The baby ain't passed yet. She said when she went to live for God, she said, I'm going to live right whether he saved me or not. Get your mind right. Get your heart right about doing right. How about that? Even if you don't believe in no spiritual higher power, do you know the division between right and wrong? Is it wrong when somebody just haul off and slap the taste out your mouth? Do you identify that as being wrong? Quit acting like you don't know the division between right and wrong. Let's do better, family.
Good deal.
So avoid these type of things. Because, man, these 18-year-olds would be the one to walk up on you while you pumping gas at the gas station thinking my life is cool. I ain't got no issues. I got money, car, clothes. Everybody know me. Man, I'm enjoying life. And boom, you just got shot in the face by that 18-year-old.
Exactly.
Get your mind right.
Brother Pete, why you gonna wait till the end of the broadcast and want to bring a sermon, man? It's time for it to go, man. It's 10, whatever that. It's 10:08 or 10:10, whatever the time say, 10:06. And you gonna wait till the end of the broadcast and you want to bring your sermon. You could have bought that at 9:30, 9 o'clock. Pete, you know I gotta pick at you, brother. Cassandra Alexander Green, you there?
Yes, sir.
Somebody joined this broadcast late today, Cassandra. 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock, even 9:30. And they say, man, they talk about some good things today. They talking about some good things today, man, and tying in with situations that's happening today. They looped all that stuff together, and that was real good. But I wish I missed a little bit, and I wish there was a way I could hear it and hear it in its entirety. Now, Cassandra, if I'm not mistaken, you might got some news for them.
I do. I have some great news for them. If you've missed the show and would like to see or hear it in its entirety, tune in to dkmmediagroup.com at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, if you've missed any part of the show and would like to see or hear it in its entirety, tune in to dkmmediagroup.com at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Good deal. Good deal. Pledge time. Who gonna do the pledge with me today? Pledge time. Anybody gonna do the pledge with me?
Got you, man.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Here we go.
Donald Tucson.
Tucson, he hung up. He hung up. He probably had a call or something. Hopefully he'll call back in a minute or two. But I will take this day.
I will take this day
And be the best. And be the best that I can be.
and be the best that I can be.
Do the best that I can.
Do the best that I can.
And help as many people as I can to do the same thing.
And help as many people as I can to do the same thing.
I promise to do it with love.
I promise to do it with love,
compassion, and the grace of God.
and the grace of God,
Giving him all the honor,
giving him all the honor,
all the praise,
all the praise,
and all of the glory.
and all of the glory.
In the name of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
In the name of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Amen, amen, and amen.
Amen, amen, and amen.
Now, Dr. J, no time for no yawning, brother. We got to pray us out. You ready?
I'm good, big brother. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
So, Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we come to you this morning, God. First of all, lifting up the young man. God, we know not the situation. We're lifting up him, and we're lifting up every family that was affected in the midst of the situation, God. Lord, asking you to step in and, God, heal the families, Lord. We dispatch your ministering angels to minister to those families as well as to that young man. And God, I pray that you would give him the wisdom, that you would give him the right mindset, God, the right people, first of all, for him to go to and be able to sit and talk with, so he may be able to turn himself in, God. Lord, we speak that no harm, hurt, or danger come to him, God. Lord, that as the brother said earlier, he has a soul too, God. Lord, bless him. Bless every child that's in the foster homes, God, every boy and every girl. Bless every foster parent, God, those who in the caseworkers or whatever the situation may be, God, those who have that authority or those positions in those situations, God, Lord, that they will do better at paying attention and discerning, God, Lord. Create the atmosphere and the situations and circumstances that they will be better trained, God, Lord, that they will be able to see these things, God, Lord, and that these children, these young children, won't be so much medicated as much as God spoken to and heard, God, in the name of Jesus. So, Lord, we thank you for each and every one of us, God, for watching over, protecting our families and our homes, God, Lord. Raheem and his family, God, Lord, we thank you for change. We thank you, Lord, for a good, healthy discussion on today, God, Lord. We thank you for watching over, protecting, God, leading and guiding, God, that we are making a difference. We bless you and give you glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Yes. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK and Media Group on Associates and the Morning Glow for having such a great day. It's time for us to get out of here for today. But before you go, I want you to do me 2 favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number 2, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. That we shine some light on you from the morning glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other, and please, please, please be blessed. Give somebody some love. They would appreciate it, and I'm sure that you will as well. Have a great day. Love, truth, and understanding is what we need. Love, truth, and understanding. I love you. Have a great day. Be blessed.
Welcome to the stage where hearts unfold in the morning glow. Stories untold. Let's paint with words a masterpiece of art where dialogues bloom, igniting in every heart. Let's tap into the ocean of thoughts where waves of healing gently salt. Let's paint with words a masterpiece of art where dialogues bloom, igniting every heart. Let's dive into the ocean of thoughts where waves of healing gently sought. Together we'll mend, stitch by stitch in the morning glow. Let's make the switch. A symphony of voices harmonizing the air, echoing truth, banishing despair. Let's sow seeds of unity, watch them grow in this garden of hope under the morning glow. Let's bridge the gaps, erase the line in the tapestry of hearts that love shine. With every word, a step we take towards a brighter dawn for all our sake. Welcome to the morning glow, where dreams take flight in this realm of possibilities. Let's unite, together we stand, hand in hand, healing the nation across the land. Let's dive into the ocean of thoughts where waves of healing gently sought. Together we'll mend, stitch by stitch in the morning glow. Let's make the switch. Let's dive into the ocean of thoughts where waves of healing gently sought. Together we'll mend, stitch by stitch in the morning glow. Let's make the switch. Let's symphony of